And welcome into the Wednesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Big Joe Dubin. Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com today. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Big Joe, good morning.
Yeah, I'm back again. Yeah, right. I mean, this is day 3 of my community service. So it ends on Friday, and I'm excited for it. So it's been a good time, Robby.
It's been a good time. Rexrode, in parts unknown. I haven't heard from him, which is fine. But it also makes you wonder, like, what could have possibly happened to him in the 3 or 4 days that he's been gone.
At least a text like, hey, I hope you guys do good. Miss
nothing.
You. Nothing at all?
Nothing.
Shows it's all about him.
Disappointing, you know?
I told you years ago, he's all about himself.
Disappointing to see. Ian Safar, how we doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Doing just fine, thanks. Wonder what kind of rant material we'll be getting out of this trip from Mr. Rexrode.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be some sort of catastrophe that takes place, if history is any indication.
Oh, there's usually always something going on when he's gone for a week.
Usually something.
There's no telling what trouble he's getting into.
He probably got robbed at a lemonade stand, and then that'll be his next rant. And they're charging me $1 for this, and it's worth 8 cents to make it, and they're making 92 cents, and they're just taking advantage of me.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us later in the show, in the second half of the program. We will get into all things Tennessee Titans with him, and, of course, the U.S. men's team loss as well, which he took really hard on social media the other night.
Well, he's got to be over now, right? I mean, it's moved on, done.
I don't know that he's over it, but I'm sure it'll be less emotional.
It's not like the U.S. has a pattern of really doing well in the World Cup.
It does not.
It's expected they, got this far, and that's great. And I know nobody's going to be happy unless you win the whole thing, but just it's time to move on.
Well, you mentioned it. I did not see any of this yesterday because I was doing some stuff, but what a game from Argentina. And Messi and crew, they come back and win the game 3-2. And boy, was the Egypt coach upset about all that yesterday, but my goodness, what a game.
Well, I was having lunch, and I'm sitting there and, eating and looking at my phone, and then like the entire kitchen staff comes out and they're watching the TV. I'm like, what? And I thought there was a breaking news story.
Yeah.
And the guy said, yeah, they were down 2-0, and now it's 2-2. Messi just scored. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, the game's almost over. It was in the 80th minute. I was like, what? That's what I get for saying I'm not going to watch anymore. And that happens every single time.
We just need you to say you're not going to watch like Titans football anymore,
I'm not.
You know?
I refuse to watch Titans football. It's reverse psychology on that, man. It makes it happen.
It'll start to be exciting.
Yeah. And then they go 16-1, have the best season ever, and win the Super Bowl.
So it is time for your question of the day.
Yeah.
We've been putting this off for 2 days unintentionally, but we're getting to it first thing this morning. Your question of the day.
So thank you. We're going to get with this, and I really need your opinion on this and weigh in on this, because we did on the morning show on our other show about a year and a half ago, and all your responses, and it ended up being 60-40, and I'm not going to tell you which way it went, but I need to know. The other day, Sylvester Stallone turned 80, and ESPN's doing this really good documentary about the making of Rocky. It's 50 years now. And my question to you, Robby and Ian, and everybody out there, and you can weigh in on our text line at 615-737-1025. The movie Rocky, is it the greatest love story of all time, or is it just a sports movie? Rocky, is it the greatest love story movie of all time, or is it just a sports movie? I'm telling you, it is a love story surrounded by sports. Okay. It is not a sport movie. It is a love story. Watch the movie again with that mindset, and how Rocky goes after Adrian and how he courts her and dates her. It is a great love story built around sports.
Okay. I guess I've never thought about it in those terms. That's interesting. And now that I'm going back through all the movies, which I've seen 1,000 times,
right,
I am thinking about it in those terms.
I'm telling you, he is so innocent and organic. The character Rocky doesn't know what and she's the same way, right? And it's about his love for her. If she's not around, I'm not sure he's boxing.
Okay.
I'm really not. So is Rocky a love story, or is it a sports story? I think it's the greatest cinematic love story ever created.
Okay.
And,
I'd have to sort through some of those. But yeah.
People are like, well, the Titanic. Well, look, Titanic has an awful ending, right? Everybody dies except for, few
Spoiler
people.
alert.
Yeah, right? But Rocky is this empowering love story, great movie. Yeah, he loses the fight to Apollo, but there's Rocky 2, Rocky 3, and on and on. I think him losing the fight shows just how vulnerable and simple he is, and just a dude trying to move on with life, marry Adrian, and go that way. So think about it that way.
All right, think about it that way. I'll have to put some thought into that one, but that's good. That's a good. I mean, George on the YouTube chat talking about he's never watched Rocky, never seen it.
Oh,
never watched Rocky. Like, what would I have to stop doing / watching to sit down and watch Rocky? I'm not a boxing / fighting guy. Plus, I hate Philadelphia. I mean, it's a classic American film, man.
It is. I mean, it's a great movie, and the Rockies after that are fantastic. But yeah, just sit down. I mean, it's worth every second to sit down and watch that. It's like not watching Star Wars.
Is it a hot take that I think Rocky 3 is the best one?
Not at all.
Okay.
I love Rocky. I think Clubber Lang re-energized the whole. Now, like Chase loves Rocky 4, which is great.
It's good. Yep.
Rocky 5 sucked. On down the line, Rocky the movie where he gives a speech about getting knocked down and Adrian's passed away and he's at her cemetery. I'm at her grave. That is really, really powerful. It's a great speech that Rocky gives. But 1, 2, 3, and 4, man, are really good. But 3 is my favorite as well.
One text says, to me, that's what made the first movie so boring, is it's too much love story. Too much.
So you're saying it's a love story.
That's what this texter's saying.
Yeah.
T-Bone says, that's like saying Happy Gilmore is a movie about tax evasion. Ian, where do you come down on this?
I mean, that's a good question. It feels like a little bit of both, right? I think I'd probably lean more love story than sports story.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's a boxer, so that's part of it. But is it more about the boxing, or is it more about the storyline of Rocky becoming, who he is?
Thank you.
Kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's the origin story. Origin stories are always more about the subplots than they are about the actual action.
Yep.
I think.
That's right. And the fact that the studio wanted the studio wanted Ryan O'Neal, Dustin Hoffman, all these other big name actors to be Rocky. And you think, God, it would have just, because Stallone's so ingrained in our mind now that nobody else would have worked or come close to that.
It's hard to picture that, right?
Yeah.
Working anyone other than Sly.
Right. It does the whole way. But watch it again. And if you've seen it, go back to your mind again and realize it's a love story.
Yeah. I mean, you got to start, in the first episode or the first one in the series, you got to build it up.
Yep.
You got to get everybody in, all that kind of stuff. And that's probably where the hook comes in, where you get multiple different demographics.
Right. Yeah.
And how the movie kind of holds up over time.
It does, and he lost the fight. And then Rocky 2, when she's in the hospital, I think she has the pregnancy, and then they have the kid, and she's, they don't know if she's going to survive or not. And she whispers in his ear, "Go win." And then the music starts playing.
I play that all the time at Predators games.
And he's chasing the chicken around. I mean, the rooster, whatever. I mean, it goes crazy. But Rocky is a love story built around boxing, and it's a beautiful, beautiful film.
We'll take your thoughts on that. I mean, I would say split opinions so far.
I like it. It was 60-40 sports movie on our show.
Okay.
I'll take 50-50 today.
Okay. Kevin says, just like Ace Ventura is a sports movie, right?
That's right. I told him, it is.
Not the Dolphins, right?
You got Dan Marino gets kidnapped, right?
What do you know about Ray Finkel?
Exactly. I mean, it is a kind of a sports movie when you think about it.
It is. It's the Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl. Marino gets kidnapped. Yeah.
We're in.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on and on. Yeah.
What this also tells me is, and I've talked about this before, I think right now we're in a movie drought in Hollywood, man. We got to start coming up with some better stuff. Nobody comes up with good new ideas anymore.
No, when they remade Roadhouse, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm
done. And somebody was like, you got to go watch that movie. It's not like that. I was like, no. They took the idea of the original and made it their own. This is stupid. I'm not watching that.
Jason in Manchester voting love story.
Thank you, Jason.
Voting love story. I think my official vote is going to be cast towards sports movie. I need more convincing. I got to go back and watch it with fresh eyes. I may change my answer.
Okay.
But my initial vote is going sports movie.
All right. No right or wrong. That happens to be wrong. But we'll see how the rest of the show figures out that it is a true love story.
So Joe's question of the day is Rocky the greatest love story of all time, or is it a sports movie?
Yep.
Take your thoughts on that. 615-737-1025. We got a lot going on the program here today. We got Monster Energy drinks sponsoring the Big 12, which is interesting. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. Paul Kuharsky, like I said, to begin the show, will be with us in the second half of the program. And as always, we take your thoughts, 615-737-1025. More coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Today, the Nashville Sounds taking on the Charlotte Knights. First pitch at 6:04 p.m. Catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning. Joe, would you like to know the answer that artificial intelligence has given me to your question of the day as to whether or not Rocky is a sports movie or a love story?
First, yes, you hear the song, right?
Yes.
I mean, and I want to get up and punch you. I mean, that's how that song is just so ingrained in us of like the underdog, and you're going to do everything you can to get to the top. So thank you, Ian. Yes, I'd like to hear Robby.
Okay, here's AI's answer. Rocky is famously both. While categorized as a sports drama, the film's creator and star, Sylvester Stallone, has described the original Rocky as a love story. He views the boxing match merely as a backdrop and a metaphor for the main character's personal struggles, self-worth, and his relationship with Adrian. This is artificial intelligence.
Yes.
That's deep.
Yeah, I usually hate AI, but I agree with it that time. Thank you.
And as we said yesterday, we will say nice things to AI.
Right, we
Make
will.
sure we don't die.
So my Alexa doesn't get in the middle of the night and murder me. I'm good. Yeah.
Mike asking if this Rocky question is in the same frame as Die Hard being a Christmas movie.
It is, which it is a Christmas movie. I mean, it's at Christmas time, and they're a Christmas wreath, and they're in the background. They're singing Christmas
parties.
Songs. Yeah, Christmas party.
Yeah. I mean, look, like I said, it's all over the place. Rocky is a love story. Love for Adrian, his boxing career, and Mick is from David from Paris.
It did win Best Picture, right?
I believe it did.
It did, and he didn't win anything else besides that. Like, he did not win Best Actor, Best anything else, Best Director. No, yeah.
So, it has to have some depth to the movie if you're going to win a Best
I will
Picture.
say,
right.
And I love these movies. Don't get me wrong. Love these movies. You do go back and watch it sometimes. It's like some of the acting's not great.
Oh, and all these?
Oh, yeah. It's not great.
Well, there's a scene in Rocky where they had no money, and then the Rocky walks in the scene, and he looks up, and he's supposed to be wearing the red and white boxing shorts, and they make a joke, and it's like, hey, why am I wearing red shorts? And the guy's like, we messed up on the poster. It's in the movie itself, and the joke was, we ran out of money. We couldn't change the poster. They made the poster wrong because he had no money to do that. And then then the movie came and took off. So it's 50 years now. So Stallone was 30, well, actually late 20s when he wrote Rocky. He was broke.
That's crazy.
And made it and got it done, right? And took off. There's a poster behind you, the movie Victory, a soccer movie. If you've never seen the movie Victory, it is one of the greatest. Now, that is a sports/war movie. It's one of the greatest movies of all. I classify that as more as a sports movie. Stallone played the goalie in that. If you've never seen Victory, go watch Victory.
I should check to see if he was ready for the World Cup.
And you will, right? And you will fall in love with that movie. Any movie that's got Nazis getting their ass kicked is a good movie. That's a movie about Nazis getting their ass kicked.
Dylan in Antioch makes a great point. Let's not derail the Rocky question with the Die Hard thing, because then people get fired up about the Die Hard Christmas movie thing. I want to sidetrack us here.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's just stay on topic with the Rocky thing.
Stay on topic.
Keep them coming. 615-737-1025. We will get to that question throughout the show. I can't wait for Kuharsky to answer this question. That'll be good.
I think he's a sentimental soul as he
he
gets
is too.
older. And I think he'll go love story.
Okay. So then I'll just be totally outnumbered at that point. All three of you guys will go love story.
Yeah. But I think Paul will see as he gets older, a little bit more sentimental as we get older. Rob, are you 30 yet?
33.
33. So you're the same age Jesus was when he passed away.
That is true.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the older you get, the more sentimental you get. Like, except for Rexrode. I think he's just an old soul, and he's just
a little crustier.
Yeah, right.
A little crustier. The Big 12 and us, I'm really interested to get your take on this. So we know that there's money flying around, and people are looking for money everywhere. They're turning over every rock to try to find money because apparently they don't have enough in college sports. So Big 12 has announced that they've got a partnership with Monster energy drinks, okay? So I don't know if you've ever had a Monster energy drink, but you see them out there. People drink Monster energy drinks. And so what this means is they're going to have Monster energy like branding on their jerseys, on the field, on the basketball courts, all these things. I mean, it's an advertising partner. And it just got me thinking about it. I mean, you're the Big 12. When you start looking at all these conferences, obviously you're behind the Big 10 and the SEC when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
You're behind the ACC, I think, too, when it becomes to money. So these Power 4 conferences, you're fourth when it comes to the money that you're bringing in. So I get it from that perspective. You're trying to bring in every dollar you can bring in. But I also of the many things about college football and college sports in general that have changed over the last few years, that have taken, in my opinion, at least some of the purity out of it. I don't want to look around one day on College Football Saturday, Joe, and be looking at somebody's field out there and be like, wow, well, I can't see what yard line they're on because there's 55 advertisements out there. Or look at that jersey. It's covered head to toe in ads. Or look at the helmets. It's all got the Monster Energy drink logos on there. I hope that we don't allow this to get out of control where there are just sponsors everywhere on everybody's field, everybody's jerseys, all these things, all in the pursuit of money, which has been the only thing that's mattered in college sports for the last 25 years.
All right, so how much is the Big 12 getting?
That is a good question. They put out their release, and I don't see a number.
So every school should get a piece of the pie.
I'm sure they do.
Right?
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
So, all right, if you look at Nashville SC's jersey, isn't it is it Renaissance on the front?
I believe so. Yeah.
And so you can't tell if you look at like, is that Nashville? I don't. So I get it. I get it. You know that when the Preds don't they have a patch regions?
They do.
Okay, there's a patch.
Which a couple years ago it was green, and then they got away from that.
Yeah, right.
Just make that sucker blend.
Well, I saw Wisconsin. Aren't they throwing in the
Culvers?
Culvers.
Yeah.
Blue patch on the red and white uniforms.
I think there should be one patch should be enough. One little sticker on your helmet's enough. I think that's enough. I think there needs to be
there's got to be a cap to it, right?
There has to be, right? You know, when Tennessee put pilot on their football field,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. They spend a lot of money, but don't make me call that pilot field because I never will. It's Neyland Stadium, Shields-Watkins Field. That's what's always to me. I'm not going to call it that. So I think there's got to be I don't mind teams getting revenue from places you normally wouldn't get it from. But yeah, I don't want to see, I'm with you, a helmet. Give me, like, I went on a deep dive of traditional college football helmets the other day. It was great, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I love the Penn State helmet. Penn State helmet was number 3 on this list of traditional college football helmets. I don't want to see, like, a green Regions Bank sticker on that helmet. Yeah. I just don't want to. I know it's going to happen, but if it happens, one sticker. They've got to come down. Now, greed's going to take over a lot of things, and they'll add a second sticker. But I'm with you, man. I don't, I get, like, Vanderbilt Stadium's now First Bank Stadium. That's fine. I get things, but to me, it's still Vanderbilt Stadium. It's going to take a long time to change that, but they can't overdo everything and make us want to call it this and that. And if there's 4 patches on a jersey, it ain't working, man.
By the way, apparently the people texting in, the report is $1.25 million per school.
I was going to say it's the report I see here is $20 million a year total.
So you divide that up. Yeah. All right. Well,
here's $1 million.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get it. And like I said, if you're the Big 12, you're looking for every dime you can get in this arms race that's going on out there. I mean, you bring up something else that is interesting, like the stadium stuff. I mean, there's all these stadiums that have their naming rights change all the time. There are certain stadiums, though, and arenas throughout our country that, like, should never be called anything else. Like Neyland Stadium should never be called anything else.
Yeah,
what it is.
Something at Pilot Field
would riot if
I'm
it
not
took
doing
place.
That. Yeah,
like Lambeau Field at Green Bay. If they ever tried to change the name to that, people would riot up there.
Well, I mean, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something, and they've tried to do that. I remember you weren't alive, and probably Ian wasn't either, when all the bowl games started getting names. The U.S. F&G Sugar Bowl, the Poland Weed Eater Independence Bowl. And it took us a while to figure that out. And now it's all kind of, all right, hey, it's the Sugar Bowl brought to you by whatever now. It took a while. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, Sunkissed Orange Bowl, on, and you realize, all right, I see what you're doing here. And it took a while, but it took over. But this way, I'm not like Rupp Arena. I'm not calling it anything else but Rupp Arena. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I would hope that these ADs and these presidents of the universities and all the people involved in this stuff, when they're making some of these decisions, like if you're Danny White and you're trying to negotiate branding deals with these places, I mean, you have to know that, well, I can't change the name of the stadium. Like, it's not going to be Neyland Stadium brought to you by Pilot.
What's Thompson Bowling now? It's something.
It's Food City, I think. Yeah,
I ain't calling it Food City.
Like, and even at least Thompson Bowling, like, it's, it doesn't have the same history attached to it that Neyland does. So, like, I'm a little less upset about that stuff. But, like, there's got to be some level of discretion I think that takes place here with these ADs.
Right. I forget what I was working in TV at the time, and I'd got a press release. It might have been the Caesars Superdome, and it asked me. I think that's what it was. Says, hey, if you do your sportscast, please refer to it as the Caesars Superdome. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, and I never did it.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I just say yes
sure.
and move on down the line.
Exactly.
I'm not doing that stuff. But that's, I mean, like Memorial Gym at Vandy. I mean, there's could be a name for that. There's names for a lot of things that go on, and that's but like Nissan Stadium, right? Well, how many names has that been called? Adelphia,
LP Field.
LP Field,
I mean, it was just the Coliseum for a while.
the Coliseum,
Yeah.
right? And so it hasn't been around traditionally enough for
Right.
us to think about in the same vein as Notre Dame or Alabama.
I mean,
or
I
Tennessee.
hate that. I still call it Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. It's not Heinz Field anymore. It's like Acrisure Stadium or something.
No idea.
It's like,
yeah,
I mean,
right.
What is that?
Yeah, I'm not. It's still Heinz Field to me too, as well. A lot of those, I can't. If you go down all this, like SoFi, I get it because that's a new stadium, but like the LA Coliseum, is there a name for that? It's the Coliseum.
It's just Coliseum.
I'm always going to call it that. So these other people can just shut it.
615-737-1025, our phone number. Monster Energy sponsoring the Big 12. Not as much money as I thought they may get out of that. We'll take your thoughts on that. 615-737-1025. More coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Mike from Pennsylvania on the text line says, I'm a season ticket holder of the Pitt Panthers. Everybody still calls it Heinz, even the people who work in the stands. Nobody calling it Acrisure Stadium.
I mean, it was Heinz, right? When it first opened?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, well, I think that's a really ugly stadium in Pittsburgh. I mean, Three Rivers was kind of iconic.
Three Rivers was.
It was that cookie cutter. Everybody had that kind of stadium, but it's just something about that stadium. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it means nothing in the world, but it doesn't look pretty.
It's got an interesting casino right behind it that I've been to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's huge.
Really?
It's massive.
I did not go. We went for the Stanley Cup final. And we just went to the baseball game, which
I think the casino may have been built since the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the baseball stadium's the best one in baseball.
Baseball stadium's awesome.
Right? I mean, it looks, Pittsburgh's got the most bridges of any city.
I believe it.
In the world.
There's a lot.
In the world.
There's a lot of bridges.
Yeah, there's a lot of bridges. And I've burned most of them, so we're good.
Nice.
That's why I'm on the morning show.
Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. People blown away on the text line that the Big 12 are only getting $1.2 million per school out of Monster Energy.
That I thought they'd get at least $5 million for that each school. And look, $1.2 million, give it to the non-revenue sports. Give it to volleyball, tennis, let them have it, and there you go. You're done with all that. And you could really fund it and not worry about it. They're making money. I mean, is there a Big 12 network? I don't know if there's a Big 12 network. Is there?
I mean, if there is,
I know
there's a Longhorn network, or at least there used to be before they joined the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But I mean, what SEC schools are getting 30, 35 million from the SEC network?
Yeah. I
mean, good Lord, when does it end?
That's the great question. When does it end? And is there, at some point, we've talked about the donor part of this. Like, if you're these boosters, I mean, depending on where you are, I mean, there's different levels of boosters for all these programs.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's gone from basically a facilities race of, all right, who can have the nicest facility so we can bring recruits in there and they can get blown away by, oh, I've got an Xbox in my locker or whatever it is, to now it's about, how much money you're going to give to NIL, but you still got to do like all this other stuff. Like it feels like at some point, if you're a booster, you're going to be looking around like, so you guys want me to be paying like NIL money every year. You want me to help you upgrade your locker rooms, your fields, all this other stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like at some point, do they just look at you and say, man, I got a lot of money. I ain't got that much money. Like
right.
I just wonder what that looks like in 10 years.
Well,
if the system doesn't change.
Look at what Troy Aikman said about, remember he did the NIL for the quarterback at UCLA and the guy left?
Exactly.
Because he didn't say thank you. He goes, I'm out. And basically, I mean, at what point do you say, you know what? It ain't worth it. These kids are ungrateful. It's not really helping my program at all. I'm not going to give you any money and move on. I think there comes a point that happens. And Troy Aikman loves UCLA, and he was pissed about this kid. I think the kid went to Washington or Oregon or somewhere, and he was done with it. I think that comes a point of like, I'm not going to do that. What's funny, I had no idea for years who the biggest Auburn booster was. You know who it is?
I don't.
It's the Yellowwood dude.
Really? Okay.
That guy basically
loves for Auburn football.
What I was told, runs Auburn football. And I don't know if he still does, but did in the 90s and the 2000s. He was the guy. I'm like, the Yellowwood. So you never know where that comes from? And I was like, oh, all right, I get you now. I see what's happening. And the Vols, we all knew the Haslams.
Oh, yeah.
Big time there. And you just see, but at what point it's like, you know what? Instead of $9 million, you get $2 million this year. I'm kind of tired of this.
By the way, George on the YouTube chat, some hot takes today. Says he's never watched Rocky. Also says Tennessee should change their colors. Orange is awful.
Yeah. And the reason why I love Rocky Top, the song Rocky Top drives the other 15 SEC teams insane. And it drives Vanderbilt fans insane. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, drives them. I love it. Keep it, play it nonstop to piss other. And if I'm another school and you don't like my anthem, I'll play it 1,000 times. Too bad.
I mean, by the way, a quick aside. I mean, Tennessee's come out with their new jerseys over the last few days of, I say new jerseys. They're back with Adidas, and they've made like minor changes to the number font.
How you feeling about that?
I think they look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Adidas jerseys look really good.
I think the basketball jerseys look good.
Yeah.
Do people get upset about the switch from Nike?
Or
whatever? Yeah.
I remember when they made the announcement, like people hated it that they were going back to Adidas. I'm like, guys, it's a Tennessee football jersey. It's not going to look that much different. Like, there's only so much you can do with it.
But here's what I want. I'm not a fan of the Tennessee football jerseys now. Give me the Al Wilson jersey where that 2-7 is bigger than my head. And it's
Big
just
block numbers.
Give me the big block numbers back. It wasn't so much when Peyton was there, but that 98 team, those block letters were gigantic. Yes. Give me that.
Well,
I want that back.
You also had it was the jerseys and the block numbers, but that was also in the day where you wore these shoulder pads that were just massive. It's like, wow, like look at these huge shoulder pads out there, and people just don't do that anymore.
No, and they need to. This form of orange now, the small letter, not a fan of that. Just give me the big block letters and make it look good that way. And give me all the bright orange you can do. And look, I'm not the biggest Tennessee football fan. I just know a lot about the program from living here and covering them for 30, 40 years. But give me that.
I mean, Al Wilson did look like an absolute monster.
Look at that. You're going to run the ball up through the 2-hole, and he's sitting there looking at you?
There was something about the 90s linebackers in
man.
general that they looked a little menacing.
Oh, it's great, man. I mean, just look at it. We had him on the show last fall. He was so gracious and so nice and said, it's really good that people remember me in Knoxville. I'm like, dude, they'll never forget you in Knoxville. Never.
Yeah. They'll remember him for a long time. I mean, I'm going through the 90s, early 2000s, and then, about mid 2000s into the early 2010s, it just stopped. People don't wear these giant shoulder pads anymore. But I mean, some of these photos from the 90s and 2000s of these pads are just huge.
Oh, yeah, man. Massive. I mean, there's others too as well. I mean, I go back.
Mike Allstott.
Oh, yeah. Herschel Walker had the biggest thigh pads I've ever seen. I mean, those things, you don't make them like that anymore. And because it's all, the dynamic of it has changed. It's slender, gives you more room for speed and all that other nonsense. But my goodness.
Somebody texting in on Rocky Top says, I'm not sure it's the song itself. I think it's the fact that they sing it every time there's a positive play.
Love it.
I agree.
Love it. Only thing I didn't like was Butch's third down for what? That just got under my skin. And I get why he played it, but I mean, it was like, all right, this is really nauseating for me.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him. I guess Andy Staples and Ari Wasserman from On3 sat down with Butch it was like a week or two ago, and he went over his time at Tennessee.
Oh no!
It's just it's just a disaster, man.
Oh no! Oh,
it's kind of amazing. I've said this before. It's amazing that the Tennessee football program is still standing, given the fact that it was Dooley, Butch, and Jeremy Pruitt back to back to back.
I got to give Kiffin blame.
I mean, Kiffin, yeah. I mean,
because he leaves
bolted.
He leaves mid-January, and remember it came down to, was it Calhoun at Air Force, and he turned it down. He got a contract, and then Gundy got the contract extension, and they're like,
I think Gundy got 3 contract extensions out of the balls, didn't he?
Yeah. And then Dooley was like, well, he did coach with Saban, so maybe we'll get the Saban fire here. I'm like, you got the fire all right. This
you did.
That burned you pretty bad.
I can assure you that the gap is closing.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I'll never forget. And it was the 11th season. I think it was 11 or 12 when they played over in Nashville, and Franklin went over to Dooley and was high-fiving him, hugging him. And you could tell Dooley was just, before the game, was just miserable. And it was like, oh, man, this is bad. And then Dooley didn't even coach the game in 12 against Vanderbilt. He left.
I was totally unaware of this Yellowwood thing before you brought it up with Auburn. But now I know. Yellowwood, Auburn.
Is there he is? Is he still alive?
Jimmy Rain is the dude's name. Let's see if he's still alive. It looks like he is. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
79 years old.
He has pumped millions into that program, which is fine. If you love a program,
sure,
put money into that and do that. But yeah, but he was the one guy I was like, who? What, that guy? And then because the commercials were everywhere on Saturday during SEC football games. Yep. Yellowwood. And it's like, oh man. And then you find out he's the guy. He is the guy. I wonder if he's paid all the salaries out for Auburn's
all the coaches
5 to 6 years.
Good question.
Good Lord.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. More reaction on the college football front. Plus, I got my own question that we'll get into coming up here in just a few minutes as well about, are we not talking enough about how some of these elite players are playing longer and longer into their careers? We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Our football offseason coverage presented by Tennessee Brew Works and Parman Tractor and Equipment. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us later in the program. So I was thinking about this yesterday because a couple of really cool things happened yesterday. Yeah, we talked about Messi at age 39, who is still probably the best player at the World Cup. He's maybe the best soccer player of all time. Yesterday in Wimbledon, you had Novak Djokovic advance to the semis again at age 39. Obviously, we all are aware of Tom Brady. Like, Brady played till he's 45. Brady, I was talking to Joe about this the other day. If Brady wanted to, my guess is he could still play. Like, he could still play league. I threw out the question, like, if you're LeBron, and all LeBron was interested in was just being good enough to hang on in the league, how long could he play? Like, could he play till he was like 50 years old? Same thing with Sidney Crosby. And you're looking at, like, I think in so many ways, all these sports, we talk about how young they are. Like, you know, in the NHL, there's more and more young guys coming in making impacts. NFL, maybe not as much. NFL's actually gotten a little older the last couple of years based on COVID and people staying in college longer and NIL and all those things. But the NBA, I mean, you got 19-year-olds coming in. Yep. So we focus on that stuff all the time. But you look at, Brady playing as long as he did. Aaron Rodgers is still playing. Sidney Crosby still playing at a high level at hockey. LeBron's still playing at a high level in the NBA. I just talked about Messi and Djokovic. Like, are we not talking enough about, like, in today's day and age, if you're an elite player, like, it just feels like these guys are playing longer into their careers. I mean, a lot of these guys have already blown past 40 or are right on the doorstep of 40 and are still going.
Well, the Titans have the third oldest player in football, Morgan Cox.
Yep.
But here's the deal. Aaron Rodgers is 42, quarterback. I think what Mercedes Lewis, these are active rosters, as of this summer, is 41 years old. He's on the roster for the Broncos.
Yep.
I think that's something. There's a couple kickers. I hate kickers. I hate punters. I love long snappers. Like J.J. Jansen is 39 for the Carolina Panthers. I'm reading this list going on. But if you're like Calais Campbell is 39, right? I mean, that, to me, an alignment in the NFL, that is mind-blowing.
It's insane.
To me. And I'm with you, man. There's that great picture of Ken Stabler at 35 and Brady at 35. Yeah. Brady looks like, you see nutrition looks good. Stabler looks like he just got off a 9-day bender. And today's picture day, what? And he took it's just the night and day of that. I think, Robby, what's going on is these guys are getting paid so much money, and they know it's not going to last forever. And the mindset now is like, let's stay in shape as long as we can and look good. They've invested in us. And I think that's why we're seeing the older. And I've told you this, is that, I've heard Rexrode say this about DeAndre Hopkins. Well, when he hit 30, I'm like, okay, and? Are immediately do our mind stop at 30?
Well, people talked about that with Derrick Henry too.
Oh, he's 30. He's done. Let me give you a quick story. Prince, the great guitar player, artist, right? He had a birthday coming up, and this reporter says, "Hey, I heard you got a birthday this week." He's like, "Do I?" She's like, "What do you mean you don't know? You're turning 40." He's like, "Nah, You want to put a parameter on me? I'm forever going to be 21 years old." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." So these guys now, but the 30s, like, I'm 57. I'm in the best shape in my life. Even when I played college football, I'm stronger now than I was at 21 because I got off my ass and I went to the gym. I continue to work, right? And that's what we're seeing now. A lot of these athletes, they understand. You've seen the long term when you sit on your butt. Yeah, not good. So you see these guys who are now getting older and aging, and they're still performing at a high level. And I agree with you on Brady. Absolutely.
Oh, well, I mean, some of it's just the sport too. Like, there are certain sports where I think it's just harder to play longer. Like, I mean, not to get into like a bunch of tennis talk here, but like the fact that Djokovic is 39 years old and is still doing what he's doing, it's insane. Like, I remember, talk about turning 30. Like, it used to be like in tennis, like if you turned 30, you're just done.
Yep.
And then, Federer came along and did what he did, and Nadal came along and Djokovic, and those three are probably the three greatest of all time. But it's just insane. Yeah, he's 39 years old, and he's in the semifinals in Wimbledon again. Like, it's one thing to be great into your 30s and 40s when you're playing golf, right? Like, it's not the same.
Sure. Yeah.
But football, like Brady being able to do that, Calais Campbell, you just brought up. I mean, LeBron at basketball, say what you will about LeBron, but it's insane that he's like 41 years old and he's still this good. And
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
unbelievable.
That's right. And Paul PK will remember this. When Connors made the run to the U.S. Open, I think it was 91. He was 40 years old.
Yeah.
People were blown away. Like, how is Jimmy Connors at 40 years old made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Open, and everybody was rooting for him. Everybody was like, Connors go all the way. So now I think the mindset has changed. Like, when you hit 30, you're done. I don't think that's the case anymore. And I think because you see these guys playing to the late 30s, into their 40s, like George Blanda, right? I know he was a kicker and a quarterback, but he looked 80 when he was 30.
Yeah.
And so he played a long time in the league. But now, like, Aaron Rodgers is 42. And look, quarterback's different. You're not getting hit.
The same way you used to be.
But like Mercedes Lewis at 41. I remember when he was with the Jags running all over the Titans in the mid-2000s. Now he's still in the league. Good for these guys.
Well,
man.
it makes you think, too. And this position has just been so hard to survive for that long at running back. But it does make me think about Derrick Henry. Like, Derrick Henry, we talked about it earlier this week. I mean, he's 32. And he just ran for 16 touchdowns last year and like 1,600 yards. Like, it's insane. And you thought maybe in 2023 when he played for that terrible Titans team and they couldn't block for anybody and he only had 1,100 yards, like, all right, is he starting to slow down? And then he went to Baltimore and he's run for basically 2,000 yards and 1,600 yards since then. And like I've said it, like, far be it from me to doubt Derrick Henry at this point, even at age 32 at that position, when everything in the world, like every bit of history would suggest that, you know, at some point here very soon, it's going to come to a dramatic halt for him because of the way that the position plays. Like, I look at the way he takes care of himself, and that's kind of the common theme with some of these other guys we've talked about. Like, the way LeBron takes care of himself is ridiculous. The way that Brady took care of himself in the NFL is legendary. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, some of these other guys, like Sidney Crosby, like what he does to keep himself at the top of his game in the NHL is insane. And it makes me think of a guy like Derrick Henry. Is like, is it realistic that he can still be as good as he is right now for another like 2 or 3 years, which is just, I mean, it's borderline unheard of at that position.
It is. I'm looking at Tim Brown's always one of my favorite receivers. He retired when he was 36. December 9th, 2001, Tim Brown returned a punt, 88 yards for touchdown in a game against the Chiefs, making him the oldest player in NFL history to score a touchdown on a punt return. So he would have been 35 at that time, right? I look at Derek Mason when he comes in here. I'm thinking this dude could probably still run some
return punts,
better routes than some guys that are doing now. So I think now it's nutrition and fitness. These guys stick around for a long time. But, you know, Jerry Rice played long. I mean, when you're an elite player and you don't have injuries, you play as long as you want if you're still excelling at a high level.
Yeah, and that part of it is just amazing to me. And it makes me wonder, like, are some of these careers going to last? Like quarterback, I think, is an interesting one because, you know, it's the same thing. I mean, quarterbacks didn't used to play for the most part into their 40s. And now you're starting to see it a little bit more if you want to. I mean, some of these guys are making so much money that they're getting out of there and then they're going to TV while they still are healthy and all that. But, like, I mean, Kirk Cousins is a good example. Kirk Cousins has never been, you know, an elite quarterback. He's been a really good one. He's 37 and he's still playing in the NFL. Like, I wonder if these careers, because of a combination of things, because of the nutrition, because of the way these guys take care of themselves, but also because of the rules, right? Like, I mean, you just can't hit the quarterback
in the NFL.
The same way that you used to hit them. Like, are you going to start to see these guys just playing into your late 30s, early 40s, you know, provided that you're good enough, going to start to become more routine in the NFL?
Well, I don't remember Julio Franco, baseball player. I think he played till he was 49. I mean, some people are just blessed by the good Lord to have the body and not get the injury to last a while into baseball.
He did, 49 years old.
And baseball is another one of those. If you can hit, you know, and you have a good eye.
Like, I'm still convinced
really
Barry
need to
Bonds could probably get a hit in a major league game. I don't know if he could run at first base, but he could get a hit.
Yeah, that the DH kept a lot of these guys around baseball for a long time. But if you can still perform at that high level, why not? And that whole thing, like, well, he turned 30 and watch out now, he's done. That's such garbage now, man. It really, go to the gym and you see these guys in their 60s and 70s who are there every day lifting a lot of weight. I'm like, there we go. That's it. The whole thing of like sitting. I feel bad for those who just sit around, right? Who just don't do anything. Go walk, do something. And these athletes doing that, I didn't even thought about that. That's a great one. But, you know, like some athletes aren't meant to be around. One of my favorite Preds players is Darcy Hordichuk.
Oh, yeah.
Loved him. He'd fight you at the drop of a hat. He would take shots upside his head, didn't care. You knew that guy wasn't going to last 18 years in the NHL, right?
No.
7, 8, and be done. So there's a place for guys that come in and really play hard, but you know they're not meant to stick around for a long time. That was a guy that was one of those. But some, man, you can stick around as long as you want.
I mean, one texter brings up Corey Perry. He just signed another contract in the NHL at age 41 with the LA Kings. I mean, it's just it feels like it's happening more and more, and we focus so much on all the young guys coming in, but some of these guys that have been around for a long time feel like they're playing longer and longer. 615-737-1025. We'll take your reaction to that. A lot more of your thoughts to get to on our text line coming up next. Paul Kuharsky will be with us in the second half of the program. All that coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Wednesday morning. Presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Property managers, if you manage it, they maintain it. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us later in the program. We will get into all things Tennessee Titans and the U.S. men's national team with him as well.
I think we need to do a switcher on him and get into all things Tennessee Vols.
I'm sure he'd love that.
And have him sit there and watch the steam come out of his ears.
He would love
like
that.
the old Vaudeville movies.
Get him singing Rocky Top. I tried to get him, like, if his son ends up going to Tennessee, which I think is at least in the cards. There's no decision that's been made yet. But if he goes there, like, I need Kuharsky in the stands singing Rocky Top.
So I think he's my age, roughly 56, 57.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
So he's been here 30 years. So he has lived most of his life in Tennessee. So he's a Tennessean.
I agree.
He can bring that.
He's a Southern boy.
He can bring that snotty New York attitude with him, but at the core, he's a Tennessee guy.
He's a Southern boy. That's my guy.
What do you get? What's the 15 years? Do you have to have a child here? What your child grow up to be considered a native? I mean, or at least somewhat of a native?
See, I think that answer is always kind of a moving target because there's so many people that are coming here now.
Right.
And I just feel like the qualifications to be an actual Tennessean, they just need to get a little bit steeper, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do.
30 years is,
long time.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Plus, we're the only state, I think, in the union. If we did our Mount Rushmore of people, we have 4 women on our Mount Rushmore.
Probably so.
So you got Pat Summitt.
Yep.
You have Dolly.
Yep.
You have Wilma Rudolph.
Yep.
Tina Turner.
Probably so.
I think you have to be born in the state.
Yes. That's like Peyton Manning doesn't count.
Peyton Manning.
Yep.
Oprah doesn't count. She's
Yep.
born in Mississippi. Peyton was born in Louisiana. So it doesn't count. So I think we're the only state. And I'll argue all
Are you
4.
fifth? You just kind of
Probably
miss out?
6.
Okay.
Deborah Stanley's probably 5th.
Yeah, there we go.
That woman's an angel,
She
a
is.
saint.
She is.
But I'll argue all 4 of those belong on our Mount Rushmore.
Okay. I mean, that's hard to argue against. It's pretty good 4.
7th, Lindsay Nance.
There you go. Lindsay Nance is in the top 10. I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, there's my question. Does Rexrode, who's been here 10 years now, is he a Tennessean or has he still got work to do?
He's got a lot of work,
to do.
Right?
All right.
He needs to get into a fight on his lawn with a neighbor. I mean, there's a lot of things that you got to check off the box
May
to
not
be
be that far away
to
from
be
that.
a true Tennessean. You have to do that.
Born and raised in South Detroit.
There we go.
I heard that whole spiel that day. That was great.
It's good stuff.
He was not happy.
I mean, Ian, you're a Tennessean now. You've been here.
I've been here
long enough to
We
be a
moved here in
Tennessean.
1997.
Absolutely. You're a
So how old
Tennessean.
are you?
I am 43.
Oh, so you moved here. Yeah.
So I
Which,
was.
by the way,
It was the summer before.
is that not stunning? Like, I don't look at Ian and think 43. I look
Not
at
at all.
Ian and I think like 28.
Yeah, we moved here the summer before my freshman year of high school,
From?
New York.
Hell yeah. Get out of that place. Good for you.
So, well, I had nothing to do with it. But, I just, my dad got
I
moved
just got
down
in the
here
car.
for work. So I just,
What
went
part
with
of New
it.
York were
All
you
I
in?
did was hop in the car.
we were in just slightly upstate, close to Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's family, they're all from New Paltz,
Okay.
which is
Not too
Poughkeepsie,
far.
right in there.
Yeah.
And Floyd Patterson, the boxers from right there. And
Yeah.
where
So-
Tyson started out.
So yeah, we
Good
we
for
lived
you.
there. Yeah. But
Glad
I
you got
lived in
out.
Cleveland, Ohio for a long time too.
Even worse. Get out of there too, man.
One texter says, old Southern Paul, TriStar PK. Yep, our guy. It's our guy.
Do you know that you cannot copyright the state flag? Like you can use the state flag on anything that you want to, any kind of merchandise, anything.
Really?
We can do that, anything. Yeah.
Well, that would explain why so many people do it then, They've
TriStar.
They've got the TriStar on everything around
And
here, I
also,
think.
you can slander the dead.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no recourse.
there's no,
all right?
there's no legal action that will be taken.
Right. It's thank you, Greg Pogue, always inform me of all those things
Yeah.
that go on. So thank you.
We appreciate that. Somebody bringing up Steve DeBerg, playing until he was 45 years old, finishing his career as a backup quarterback.
Steve DeBerg is one of the most underrated, fascinating quarterbacks of all time. There was a game where he had laryngitis. He couldn't talk. So they rigged a voice box under his shoulder pads to his, I guess, vocal box, whatever it is. And he would bark out the signals and it would amplify. I kid you not. And it's there's video of him doing that. My thing is, if I see you're doing that, I'm going to sack you and rip that off.
Oh,
your
yeah.
screen immediately.
We're going to end that line of
And
communication.
he played the whole game with this amplified backpack to make the audio so the team could hear the signal. He played with the 49ers late 70s when that happened.
I will say we've got it's a little bit of a hot take day on our award-winning YouTube chat. Don't leave it short on the YouTube chat says this. Says Aaron Rodgers should retire already and let the kid that won the national championship at Ohio State play, talking about Will Howard, which is fine. Says Will Howard, I think, is the next Tom Brady. It's like, oh, okay.
See,
Tom Brady for Will Howard.
here's the thing about when Brady did all that. How many times have we heard this guy? I heard when Luke Falk was drafted by the Titans in 2018, they were like, he's got a little Tom Brady in him. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He did. He was cut before the first week, and the Dolphins signed him, and that was the longest game ever in NFL history with Vrabel's first game. But how many times have we heard this? That guy's that's
Well, anybody that's like a quarterback drafted in like the 6th or 7th round now, it's like, hey, that's where Brady was drafted.
So
all the time, 199.
What starting quarterbacks in the league have been drafted outside, say, the top 3 rounds?
And you could find a few, but not many.
Starting.
Like, most of these guys are
yes,
first round picks, much less second, third round picks.
I mean,
Like
Purdy really kind of
Purdy's the one
Okay.
guy.
right?
There's a few. Okay,
There's a few, but it doesn't happen very often.
Purdy is the guy, right? He was the last guy drafted. And it's funny, you go back and look, if Bledsoe doesn't get hit by, I forget what jet
Mo
player.
Lewis.
Mo Lewis, thank you, from Georgia, hits him. What are we even talking, Brady?
No,
You know, and
probably not.
I'll even go back as far and say if Drew Bennett would have caught that damn football on the sideline of the playoff game, Titans go down and beat Brady, and there's no second Super Bowl for him. And it was the 04, but yeah, that's right. They don't.
Was that the game where it was like minus 30 degrees out there?
Yeah, and he dropped the ball. He catches that, they go down and win the game. And there's no Brady. I mean, you think about how Brady, like, you get all the breaks. Like, we can go back and pick apart his entire career, but there's no Brady. There's no legacy that goes on. But that's part of why you win games and move on. But I get so tired of hearing that. That's the next Tom. No, it's not. It's really, there's not been a next Tom Brady throughout history. Johnny Unitas might come close. Steelers, I mean, the Steelers cut him, undrafted, goes to Colts, becomes a legend. There's very few people like that.
Very few. And listen, I have no idea how good Will Howard's going to be. The Steelers, I think, have kind of told you some of it. They just drafted another quarterback there too. Like, I think they'll probably draft another one next year, a high pick. Like, I have no expectation that Aaron Rodgers is going to be like some superstar player again in his career. But like the Brady part of this, I've always said this on the Super Bowls. Like, people talk about the 28-3 comeback, and they talk about how, you know, Seattle just turns around, hands the ball off to Marshawn Lynch,
Ball game,
and that's the game's over, and he doesn't win Super Bowl. All those things are true. I also think, like, over the grand scheme of things, it probably evened out a little bit, like in his Super Bowl performances. Like, Brady also threw for 500 yards against the Eagles and lost that Super Bowl. He threw, I mean, the David Tyree catch from Giants. Like, there's some crazy stuff that happened against him the other way.
Right.
It probably all evened out with the 7 Super Bowls.
Well, the Mario Manningham catch on the sideline,
like,
which is like one of the
nobody ever wants to talk about that, but like, there are the other performances that he had that he lost. At the end of the day, it probably evened out with the 7.
Absolutely. But I mean, it's gonna, if a run like that happens again, I won't be around for that. I mean, that's another 20-year run that he did that was unprecedented to see him win all those games. And like, we had Heath Evans on yesterday, who played with the Patriots for 4 years and just talked about Brady's preparation was unlike anything else he'd ever seen.
Yep.
Peyton's been talked about the same way, Drew Brees. There's a common denominator with those guys. But with Brady, you know, the famous, what is he, when he passes Robert Kraft in the hallway and Kraft says, hey, how are you? You are? And he's like, I'm going to be your starting quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bells to tell the owner that.
Yep.
And then Kraft's like, I believed it from
time.
them.
I think like the 4th string quarterback.
Yeah, right?
5th string.
And I'm sure Kraft is like, hey, who's this jackass? But whatever, you know, we'll see him down the road and then go on. But yeah, just to say the next Tom Brady, no.
One texter says Drew Bennett catching strays 15 years later. It's more like 20 years later, 20 plus years later.
Well, and then, you know, good for Drew. He goes to the Rams with that contract in 06, and it's one of the worst NFL contracts of all time.
Not very good.
He didn't live up to any of that. I don't begrudge the guy getting money because he was undrafted into the NFL, but that Rams contract he got, he was terrible with the Rams.
One texter says there'll never be another Brady. It's a once in a lifetime player. I would agree. I just think the entire formula there of, first off, the 7 Super Bowls is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's hard to do. I always hesitate to say never because we always say we'll never see such and such again, and then ultimately we do, right? Like eventually we do at some point. But
Right.
I think the bar that he said will be very hard.
Yeah,
very hard.
There's
to,
no
to
doubt.
overcome.
But look at all the quarterbacks. I mean, besides Purdy, Mahomes and Hurts and Knicks and Denver. I mean, all these guys were drafted in the first and second round. Yeah. So they'll know if these guys got something going on. But I root for the underdogs all the time. If they think he's the next Tom Brady, let it happen, man.
615-737-1025, our phone number. More your thoughts on the NFL coming up next. Paul Kuharsky will be with us later in the show. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. Subscribe to Big Joe's YouTube channel.
Yeah, please do that. Have we got any more responses to our question of the day? I'm
still rolling in a little bit. Question of the day that Joe Dubin has thrown out there. Is Rocky the greatest love story ever, or do you just view it simply as a sports movie? I've gone sports movie on this. You've gone love story. Ian's gone love story. We'll see what Kuharsky thinks a little bit later in the show. But I do hear that I'm receiving some support on your personal text line.
Yeah, they're like, I understand what you're saying, but it's a sports movie. So I've blocked my 4 friends who have come and said that. I just don't view it. Saying it's a sports movie is kind of like, nah, it's a sports movie. But say it's a love story surrounded by a sport is, I don't know, it's really empowering to me in that way. I think Rocky is the greatest love story movie of all time. I don't think anything comes close. You can argue the Titanic, terrible ending. Rocky this way comes out and
Romeo
Rocky
and
2
Juliet.
wins, right?
Terrible ending too.
It gets it done. So I don't know another love story that has that same emotion. And like, you played the theme earlier.
Sandlot,
I've never seen the Sandlot.
Really?
I refuse to see that movie
Really?
Why?
because people say, go see it. That's why I don't see Yellowstone. You got to see Yellowstone. I don't have to do anything. I'm not going to watch Yellowstone just because you tell me that. I jumped on the Breaking Bad train way too late.
Yeah.
Because people said, and I was like, all right, I get it now. All right. It's really
pretty good.
Yeah.
Sandlot's pretty good too, man.
I'm past that age, man.
I see though, but I think they just don't make movies the same way they used to. you know?
I agree.
I've become that guy. They just don't do it.
That's
the
fine.
same way they used to.
Like Stand By Me is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I'll watch that. I've seen it a million times. That's fine. So I guess I'll go watch The Sandlot one day.
One texter said it's a sports movie. I don't even pay attention to the romance plot.
Crazy.
But just because you don't pay attention to it doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
You know?
Why is he fighting for Adrian?
Yeah.
That's why he's fighting and doing this. And a text earlier said, it's really slow when they're together. And I get it because that's who Rocky was. He's not like the brightest bulb, but the guy's got.
Hey, you don't look at Rocky and think Rhodes Scholar.
Right. It's like what Mick told him. He's like, you got grit, you got passion, you got determination. You can do anything with that. He's right.
We'll continue to take your thoughts. I mean, somebody just said you're crazy.
That's fine.
We'll see.
But tell me why
I think
I'm
it's
crazy.
been pretty split though, from the reaction that I've seen.
What was-
Although more people now are coming my way. On
Yeah,
this
it was
sports movie.
60-40 in our show. We did it about 2 years ago. So
Okay.
now it's about 70-30. I'm not happy with that. Not at all. Not at all.
By the way, somebody bringing this up, which a lot of people don't know. Morgan Freeman was born in Tennessee, born in Memphis.
Was he?
Mhm.
Well, Samuel Jackson's from Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Is an Usher from Chattanooga?
I believe, yes, I believe that's
They-
right.
They were born there, yeah. So, but I'm taking the 4 ladies over Morgan Freeman. I'm sorry.
Usher was born in Texas, but he
There's
spent the majority of his childhood in Chattanooga.
Okay.
There you go.
So the qualifications, you have to be born in that state.
Correct.
And then do you have to make your accomplishments? I mean, because I don't think that. I think you have to be born in the state.
Yes.
You can't, like Oprah was not going to do what she did in Jackson, Mississippi.
No.
Or here when she started here, but she had to go to Baltimore, then took off in Chicago. But I'll argue that the 4 ladies on there, somebody on TikTok was like, you got to put Davy Crockett on there. No, I don't. I got the four ladies on there. You're going to argue me Pat Summitt doesn't belong on that?
I'm with you.
I mean, one of the greatest coaches of all time, men, women, and changed the sport.
Yeah.
Wilma Rudolph, what she did in the Olympics. I mean, then Dolly. And Tina
Dolly.
Turner's the one.
Dolly's still doing stuff.
Tina Turner's the one I'll kind of, okay, who you got? Maybe she's the one that's the, I'm not saying a weak link, but that's the one like, all right, I'll listen to somebody about Tina Turner, but that's it. The other 3, no.
Kuharsky making his way up the list too. Honorary Tennessean.
Honorary Tennessean. Can you imagine a flag with his face on it? I always thought a good promo for Kuharsky would be on a billboard. He hates you, and that was it. And like listen to him from 1 to 4, whatever it is. He hates you. I was like, if you're driving down and you see that, like
That would
he
make
hates
wanna
you,
turn on?
right? Did you remember the Bobby Bones story? How he put billboards around town saying Bobby Bones sucks.
No, I don't know.
He bought those and put them up.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't tell you Bobby Bones. He walked in here and tried to fight me, but he put billboards up that way, and people are like, "Oh, I feel sorry for." And he's like, "Yeah, I put them up because people didn't like me." I'm like, "Okay, I get it." But with Kuharsky, it'd be like, "He hates you." That's it.
That's good.
Would you not? You're driving through town. Would you not turn to that? and
Sure.
say, oh, I'm gonna watch this. This guy hates me.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's good stuff.
Right?
It's good stuff. Somebody saying Sandlot, they love movie too. That's what I'm saying. It's good stuff on that front.
Is that a love story?
I think it is.
Wendy
Wendy. Yep.
and the love of baseball.
Absolutely.
Love of baseball.
It's very similar in that way. It was interesting. I was reading this story that you were talking about the other day of this Sean Payton stuff that Seth Wickersham came out with of, when Belichick got fired by the Patriots, and it was basically like Peyton throwing the idea out there of like, hey, go hire Belichick to be the head coach until he breaks the all-time wins record. I'll run the offense. And then after he breaks it, I'll just step back in and be the head coach. Like,
Crazy.
First off, it's a very un-Sean Payton-like thing
Right.
to think about, but I don't know that I've ever heard of a coach even thinking that way. But it's pretty interesting here, the path here that Wickersham has put together in this story.
Well, he's 15 shy of Don Shula breaking the record or tying or whatever it is, and I don't know how I feel about this. If you win games as a head coach, like I argued and I hated this, that Mike Leach didn't deserve to be in the College Football Hall of Fame because they had the 60% winning percentage.
Yeah.
And they lowered it. And then they were saying that the bowl game after he passed away that Mississippi State won should credit that to Mike Leach. That gets him over. I don't like when we start messing with rules. I'm not a fan of that. And I think Mike Leach is a great coach, but they set the rules of where you're Hall of Fame coach. So I'm not sure about Belichick, how this works. I mean, if he's the head coach, I guess it does, but you're kind of, I don't know. I feel uneasy about this.
Well, I'm glad it didn't happen because I kind of agree with you that way. And I also think that it went so bad for him this last year in North Carolina. I think there's a chance that it goes pretty bad for him this year in North Carolina again. And either he voluntarily steps out or they look at this and they say, all right, man, we just can't do it. I mean, he's 74 years old.
Right.
He's 75 next year. Like, I wonder if this upcoming year is the last year that we'll see Belichick coaching out there.
Well, somebody's keeping him young.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, right. So he's probably got the spirit of a 30-year-old
So
to do that. I love last year when TCU kicked their butt because ESPN went all in.
oh yeah.
Like all the people were there. This is a great day. And TCU just dismantled that football team that night. I love that. Yeah, but I'm with you, man.
They play him again this year too.
Is
At
that
TCU again?
at TCU?
It's home this time.
Home?
Yep.
They're at TCU?
No, they're at home again somehow. I don't know how that's worked
right.
out.
That's crazy. And I think that the only thing with that is his son not coaching waiting?
I believe that was the idea behind it all.
Yeah.
I wonder if North Carolina says, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, right. You know, maybe Jordan can throw some bucks down and say, hey.
I mean, obviously they play the ACC teams this year, but they got Notre Dame on the schedule. Don't sleep on East Tennessee State out there too. I mean, I'd love to know, like, what's North Carolina's win total projection this year?
I'll
pull it up.
6.5. I have no idea.
I think it'll be lower. I'm going to guess like 4.5, but I could be wrong. Let's see. ACC North Carolina. It is 4.5. That's what it is.
Is it really? Yeah. Oh, wow.
So they're going to be bad again.
Then it's done.
It could be done.
And if Duke is good and NC State's good, which are right in the neighborhood, it looks even worse. See ya.
That's just, he's come in promising to run this NFL model stuff. And you can't get any players. Like, he has no players.
Right.
And I just.
Isn't his GM Michael Lombardi?
Yeah.
That guy. That guy's a
It's not going. The whole thing's just, if you're North Carolina, it just feels like you've totally fumbled this. And I get it. It's Bill Belichick. You're North Carolina football. It's not like North Carolina football has been some powerhouse.
Right.
So I get it. Like, taking the risk on Belichick, I would have done it too. But I think it's worked out to this point about as poorly as you could have possibly imagined.
Give me two great North Carolina football players who made it in the NFL.
Did Lawrence Taylor go to North Carolina?
Hell yeah, he did.
There you go. So there's one. I mean, Titans backup quarterback's another. Mitch Trubisky.
That's right.
Draft pick.
Yeah. Natron Means, man.
Yeah,
Running
okay.
back from the
Yeah.
90s. Badass.
Didn't Drake May go there?
Drake May. Yep.
Oh,
There you
Drake
go.
May did go there. That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
But they'll always
about
have
all I
Lawrence
got.
Taylor.
They always
Blame.
have Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
Kevin Donnelly, the Titans offensive lineman, went there.
Yep.
Back in the late 80s.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith. A big Art Smith fan right here, man. Because he's the only Titans assistant coach that ever knew my name the whole time he was here.
Friend of the show.
And I did not know who his dad was till like 5 years in. And then I was like, wow. Then I did some stuff with his wife over on Channel 4. We did a show together for a while. And then she was great. And every time I look at her, I'm thinking, your father-in-law is worth $30 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
I might have $30 in my checking account, maybe, if I'm lucky. He could carry a wallet when he was alive, could carry a wallet around with $3 billion and lose it and not blink an eye.
It is amazing that you look at the history of North Carolina football. It's not great. You've got Lawrence Taylor, who went there. You have Julius Peppers, who played college football in North Carolina.
Oh,
too.
that's
We're talking about
right.
2 Hall of Famers. Now, LT may
That
be
should have been an easy one.
one of the greatest defensive players of all time. But, yeah, Peppers in the Hall of Fame and LT. They've just
LT.
never done anything.
I'll tell you, he was a bad dude at Carolina. If you watch that documentary on him, he was a bad dude.
Yeah.
Not off. I'm talking on the field.
Yeah.
He talks about when he got to the Giants, how he went from Lawrence Taylor to LT, how that all happened. But still, I mean, he changed the game.
Oh, apparently the North Carolina TCU game's in Dublin, Ireland. So there we go. So
Oh.
I guess they're the home team there.
Okay.
Appreciate the text line for pointing that out.
Well done.
I can't keep up with all these international games we're doing now.
You know what? This is a whole tangent on another day. I hate neutral site games. Last year's Tennessee-Syracuse game in Atlanta, they had like 40,000 people there.
Yeah.
Put that in Neyland, there's 100,000 people there. Stop neutral site games. Nobody cares.
And now we're going to have some here with the new stadium coming.
What, Florida State and Georgia?
Florida State and Georgia
Yeah.
coming here. Which is, I mean, it's a, 2 great program matchups on paper. But again, like I'm with you. I'd rather have these games. On
Take
campus.
me to Tallahassee.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't want, between the hedges. I want to see the game there, not here. No, pass.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Kuharsky will be with us later in the program. We'll get into all things Tennessee Titans with him. More your reaction to get to on the text line coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar, Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us now here on the program. PK, good morning. How are you?
I am well. Good morning, Nashville. Good morning, guys. Good to see you, Joseph.
You too as well, Paul. One of my favorites.
We had a lot of people worried about you yesterday, PK. We played in the 6 o'clock hour. Your reaction to the U.S. men's national team's loss to Belgium. Very disappointing, as we all were, with the loss to Belgium. But, I put a little bit more stock into what you've got to say about this. I mean, you're our soccer expert leading into all this, and they come out there and just lay an egg against Belgium. And in some ways, it feels like it kind of always feels with Team USA. How are we feeling today, a couple days after?
Yeah, still down. Also down because yesterday was the last day of two games. So, I mean, you're getting into premier tournament stuff, but also means like the constant soccer part is over. So that kind of stinks too, because I've been slacking off watching a ton of soccer. But listen, in terms of the U.S. thing, my bow on it is, just the problem is at the youth level. It really is the big picture problem. I know people don't want to hear that, and I bookmarked a guy, Sam Mahmood. I don't even know who he is, but he's just talking about it. It's the one sport in America where college soccer is not the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And I don't think we get to a point where college soccer is the pinnacle. And our young kids, it's structured just like all our youth sports where you want to go and win tournaments. And that's not kids just have to get so many more touches. And it's not that we're not athletic, and it's not that we're not fit, and it's not that we're not competitors. But I'm stealing from this guy. The volume of touches in street soccer and unstructured play and high-level training environments and meaningful games, not in these tournament settings necessarily. We just not like these teams that we wind up losing to. And the club stuff is largely a money-making scam. A lot of people are getting rich on it, but the returns on all the invested capital is poor. And Landon Donovan is a big name, and he's talked about wanting to change it, seeing what his 8-year-old is going through. And until we change that, man, when we play a Belgium and it's a real challenge to connect 3 passes, it's just depressing. So we draw the right teams and we play the right way, and we look technically better, and we are technically better, but it's too incremental. And you get a Belgium or a Netherlands, who are very good European teams, but not even the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between them and France and Spain and England maybe right now are still wide. And it's not the same.
So
thing.
Robby had a good point. Like in Belgium, their best athletes are playing soccer. In America, our best athletes aren't even thinking about soccer.
I don't think it's an issue there, though, Joe. Those guys are good enough athletes. We're not lacking athleticism. We've got a massive population to choose from. So, I mean, I think if you put the athleticism of our guys against the athleticism of Belgium, they didn't out athlete us. They're better technical players who are confident. They didn't worry about us in possession. They let us make mistakes. They're tactically better. Pochettino was great in this tournament, but he got his ass out coached in that game, and we panicked. And then, look, they're going to find your weak link, right? I wish I'd tweeted it, but I knew, and all of us knew, Freeze and Ream were weak links. And so it's 2-1, and we're threatening. We're not the better team by any means, but we're threatening. Maybe we can get it to 2-2. And then we have a massive gas where the goalie kicks the ground like a kindergartner. And then a 38-year-old is flailing backwards at a ball that's hit practically right at him. He has to move his hip a little like Reggie Jackson in 77. And you're out of trouble there, and you survive a thing. And then maybe you can, withstand another 20 minutes or get another chance or something. So it's a technical question, not an athleticism question.
Well, that's when I started to get nervous. Like, honestly, in the first half, 13 minutes the second half came around, and we just had the ball the whole time. We had the ball, and just never threatened. I was like, wow, This is not good.
And,
We're in
and,
big
and the
trouble.
goalie thing is baffling. I mean, you go Tony Meola and Casey Keller, who's my favorite U.S. men's soccer player of all time, and I'm not a goalie guy, and Friedel
Yep.
and Howard, even Brad goes on. We've always had good goalies, and that Matt Freese is our best goalie right
Not
now is a huge dip, just terrible. And then Reem is 38, the oldest guy ever to play for the U.S. We have 4 years to find a replacement for Reem, and still, not only do we think he's the best guy to put out there, we give him the captain's armband. I mean, two massive holes. We knew the defense was going to be a problem eventually, and then finally ran into a team that was able to take huge advantage.
So what do you take away from all this? Because on the one hand, it's been in the United States. People were very excited about it, much more excited than I can remember the general population ever being about the World Cup. And the location of it has something to do with that. But it was a fun team to watch. It was a good team to watch. They went around a 32 game, and I know that that's different from, a different setup than it's been. But then you end up in the round of 16, and it just kind of feels like the same old story. So how do you kind of round all that together as to what your takeaway is for what this means for U.S. soccer?
Well, I don't think you could say it's the same. I mean, the result is the same out in the round of 16, but having advanced a new round. But I mean, offensively against some teams who are, Paraguay knocked out damn Brazil, right? Or who? Knocked out somebody.
Germany.
They knocked
Knocked
out
out
Germany,
Germany. And we killed them. And we've got a more offensive-minded team than we've ever had. We scored at a higher rate than we ever had. We were the highest scoring first-half team in the tournament, I believe, or at least going into that game. Ian's giving me a thumbs up. So, there's a lot of progress there. It's way more exciting to watch. For years and years, we were just a gritty fight team, find a way. We're a lot more than that, but it's still more incremental than you want it to be. And that's how it's going to be. I was talking to two of my closest friends, two of my closest soccer friends for sure. We had a chain going through this whole thing, and we're debating whether you try to bring Pochettino back. I think there aren't big enough challenges ahead of him, before the next World Cup that to keep him from going to a tempting club job. My thing is, I don't think you're going to do better than him, and we've had some bad ones. But odds are we're just like everybody else, and you turn over your national team coach, and then what kind of identity does he want? Is he smart enough to build on the smart stuff that Pochettino had? And, Pochettino get a little bit lucky with the draw and everything, but he seemed to bring out the best in a lot of guys, a lot more guys than other coaches
He did
brought out.
The other thing I'll say on that, though, is how much of it's fair, how much of it's injury related, I don't know. But Pulisic came up small in this tournament. He just did. And
his first 45 minutes were gorgeous, but after that, and in this game, he was awful. And I know that's going to haunt him, that in the biggest game of his life, he turned the ball over 11 times, which is the most in the game, I think, by far.
So if the U.S. would have beat Belgium and they play Spain, how bad would Spain
See,
be?
I would have been all right with them getting Spain and doing this.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right? That's funny. All you wanted was to get one more round,
win,
and then you'd be
yeah.
like, all right, we're. But we've hung with Spain before. We have a bigger problem with Belgium, I think, head-to-head than we have with Spain. We would have lost to Spain, a matter of a degree. But to be able to say you're one of the best eight teams in the world as opposed to say you're one of the best 16, I'm not a mathematician here, but it's twice as good.
So put in context how good Lionel Messi is for the non-soccer folk like myself.
Yeah, he's otherworldly. They had no business winning that game yesterday. And that one VAR that killed them where who'd they play?
It was Egypt.
Egypt went all the way down the field and scored
Yep.
a great goal, and they VAR'd back to a foul at the complete other end of the field and took it away. And then Egypt kind of fell apart. Messi missed a penalty shot in that game too, but Argentina's very, very good. And Messi is, best, even aging, still ranks as best player in the world. That's his efficiency, Joe, that makes him amazing. If you ever see a plot or a map that time delay kind of thing, he moves very little, and then the moment comes and he makes a little dart or a little dash, and he's in the right place, and the ball finds him, and he doesn't miss.
Can't you look? Here's a really dumb question. Can't you put a guy that stays with him the entire game, like
Yeah.
Michael Jordan? Like you're going to
can.
guard Jordan.
You can, but he just finds a moment to slip away. He lulls people to sleep, and he has a sense of the space and the geometry that the person covering him just can't match.
Crazy. I mean, you're right. That game yesterday.
It's pretty insane. 615-737-1025. Our phone number. We'll have the Rob rant coming up next. PK with us the rest of the show. Take your questions for him on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
Every baseball game should be 7 innings. 9 innings is too long.
I go around saying, "Oh, Yankees win." You need to talk louder for me, please, at home.
He can bring that snotty New York attitude with him, but at the core, he's a Tennessee
He's
guy
a
now.
Southern boy.
Sing us a song, country boy.
You know what I don't like? Bruce Springsteen's awful.
It's not like the boss. When the boss plays a Santa Claus coming to town, that is so wonderful. Go ahead. I give you time now to apologize.
Mike, is there a single fan out there that's smart at all, or are they all stupid? Let us know.
The biggest ass in town.
Just explosions all over the place.
He was a total bust.
It is time for the Rob Rant, brought to you by the wine cellar in Hendersonville that is being audible today to Kuharsky's rant, the primary complaint here.
Joe sounded like Adam Sandler doing Edith Bunker for some of that. I mean, is there anybody out there that likes the Edith Bunker? Like, do we get any
people love
fan
it.
feedback? They do?
Oh, yes.
We love it.
It's a fan favorite.
I do not sound like that.
It's a fan favorite out there.
All right, here's my rant. And I confess, like when I bought my newest Mac that I use daily, it was a downgrade from like the height of my financial glory when I bought like the greatest Mac, like for a graphic designer that had 16 ports on it and a photo button. You know, now I'm a peasant. I have to hit Shift Control 4 to take a picture.
Sure.
Before I just had a camera button. It was glorious.
I've never even heard of such a thing. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know what I did memory wise, but clearly I didn't buy enough memory. Right. And I use my computer as a filing cabinet. Like I don't really delete many emails. Whatever Robby sent me in 2013, I could go find it if I needed it. So I'm having some big troubles because the memory is close to full. So I've been using my little AI helper. All right, look, I'm having these memory troubles. What do I do? And it's advised me. So I went into my email, and I'm sorry if any of you have sent me anything important from 2013 to 2020. That's now gone. That's now gone.
Oh, no.
All right. I use my text on my computer. I've deleted a lot of old stuff on there, and I went through my documents. I just basically, like, I have a document right now that's called June 2026. I haven't started a July one. It might even be May. And that's just where I write all my stuff. It's stacked on top of each other.
Sure.
So I have a lot of files like that. I just stacked up my documents by size, and I deleted the month documents that were giant that obviously everything's been published out of or I don't need. Got rid of all of that. And here I am looking at, you go to the little Apple button and you go to system settings and you go over here to general and to storage, and none of the numbers are going down. None of the numbers are going down. Now, here's a big test. I take a screenshot, Shift Command 4. I'm taking a screenshot of the Twitter message with Joe and Robby's handsome face. I take that shot, and it lingers for, 4 or 5 seconds in the corner before it goes to my download folder. But it doesn't go to my download folder because it's not working, because I have no space on my computer, despite the fact that I spent yesterday making space on my computer. So I'm in big trouble. I got some issues.
Why would this not work? Ian, do we have any answer for this? Like, is somebody sabotaging Kuharsky? What's going on?
I think
here?
I definitely need to reboot, but I have some ongoing things right now.
Too many tabs.
That I don't want to close.
He's a busy man. He's got
Lots
stuff
of
going on.
tabs.
I have to give up some tabs for sure, but I think it's more than that. I think I have to reboot so that it can find this space.
Can you not buy more storage?
I mean, I could plug something in with more storage, but Joe, to get Apple to put more storage in the computer, I'd have to give the computer away, and I can't.
You can't do it.
I can't function even without a computer that won't let me do anything.
Like my Google Drive says you're getting full. Here, spend $1. We'll give you another 200, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
mine
all right.
says that stuff too. Like, I'll get it, and then I'll just start deleting stuff, and then it just
Right.
opens
All
up
of this
space.
is backed up. See, I think Apple's got it down with the phone. I mean, I don't know if I bought the biggest phone ever, but I don't know if it's physically possible for me to fill the phone.
I don't know if it is either. I mean, one texter says for
Which they
$2.99
got you, because the day that your phone says it's full,
it's not good.
I don't know what happened.
Not good.
Earth stops spinning.
Maybe you can do some iCloud stuff.
One texter says for
Everything's on
$2.99 a
iCloud.
month, you can buy 1 terabyte of cloud space from Apple and save everything and access it anywhere. $2.99 a month.
I mean, everything is also on iCloud, but like music I looked at, which doesn't actually take up that much space. And it tells you, like, if your burned stuff is on there, you better keep it on your computer.
Somebody says you
if
got to
you put
empty
it-
your trash. You got to empty your
Oh,
delete
my trash
file.
is empty.
Okay.
Oh, don't
Trash
you
is
worry.
empty.
So $2.99 $2.99 a
Correct.
month. Okay.
That's
The
what the
cheapest
text
subscription you'll ever get.
That's what the text says. I'm just reading the text.
See, Paul, we got you covered now.
I want more advice. Email me, pkuharsky@gmail.com.
Here we go.
Well, your email storage wouldn't necessarily have an effect on your computer storage.
It does.
It does? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's on the list.
It's on the list.
Here are the things that are on the list: applications, documents, iCloud Drive, mail, messages, music, photos.
Okay.
I don't want photos on here either. I don't do anything with photos here. I'd be content with having them on my phone and in the cloud.
Now, a lot of people talking about getting an external drive, but I don't think you want to do that.
Well, I have an external drive, but it seems like the computer is advising me not to put certain stuff on the external drive only.
It's a big
It's a little
problem
bit
you
of
got
backup.
here, buddy.
A little bit of backup.
Did you buy this computer off some dude on Church Street?
I bought it, I think, at the Apple store.
Okay. Go back. Look, I hate going to the Apple store
Apple
because they
bar.
make you feel so stupid.
I don't mind them making me feel stupid on something like this, as long as they can fix it. So maybe I'll go over there
And spend 9 hours. Good job. Have
Well,
fun
no,
with
you
that.
sign up in advance, Joe.
I mean, Ed says PK is surrounded each week by college students. Can he not ask his students for some tips here?
Well, I hate to break it to you, but this is called summer.
break.
Yeah, summer.
Although the preparations
teach
for this
summer
class are
Wait, hold
ongoing.
up. You're teaching? I didn't know this.
Yeah, I am full-time this semester at Belmont.
Yeah.
Are you? Congrats.
Wish me luck.
What's the is it sports journalism
I'm going
or
from
how to
Two classes to 4 classes.
or how is it called how to piss off NFL GMs? I mean, what's the class?
Media ethics,
Yeah.
sports writing, and entrepreneurial journalism.
There we go.
Love this. I absolutely good for you. I had no idea. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd have you in, but I can't find a slot.
Don't. No, you don't need me in. No, yeah, I'm good.
That's what I was saying.
I'll praise you from afar. You're good.
One text says, Paul, I just tried to email and call you, but it says your inbox and voicemail are full.
They're not. They're not. So I set out, I'm going to spend 2 hours working on this class, and I spent 2 hours trying to find space
to work.
to allow me to work.
Chip says, delete some Springsteen songs. You'll be fine.
It's not.
I don't think the laptop is loaded.
The
with those.
music is only 1.66 GB. I
Okay.
presume that's gigabytes.
I believe so.
Other things are much bigger.
Yeah, she said. Listen,
That's
is
what
your
she said.
class 300, 400 level? What level are we
Uh,
talking here?
You know, some are higher than others. That's
Okay.
what I can tell you.
There you go.
I'm still familiarizing myself with a lot of the logistical matters. What I'm concerning myself is with teaching the students.
That's right. That's right. His heart's in the right place. Somebody says it sounds like Paul's got an emotional support laptop. He can't download anything or store anything, but he can't move on from it.
Well, listen, I've taken so many screenshots to try to show ChatGPT my problems, and they're going somewhere. I mean, the shot is taken,
Yeah.
but then it doesn't go to download. So
It's-
I've got a mystery folder somewhere that
Of just all
wants to,
these
wants to
screenshots.
take these screenshots. That's probably a memory problem of its own. I've got 50 screenshots in limbo.
It's probably going
They're
to
in
that
purgatory.
it's going to that data center over by the Nashville Zoo they're bitching about left and right.
It's going somehow to the guy that stole Rexrode's bag.
Got a potential update for you on that situation, by the way.
I'm eager.
We'll discuss it off air coming up, but potential developments on that front that we'll get to.
Fascinating.
You're just now. You didn't. We've been on the break all day.
It's ongoing. All
Okay.
I can tell you is we've got our own private investigator that may or may not have located the red.
The
PT
game,
cruiser.
the game is aware of the situation and monitoring, and will have no further.
Just
comment.
saying, the red PT Cruiser may or may not have been
spotted.
located. Have been
Oh,
spotted.
okay. I like this.
I thought I saw Dwight Spradlin from the Titans PR office in a car next to me on my way over here. And I was like, that would be really weird that he's coming this direction. Maybe he's taking a back road to the airport or everything. And I waved eagerly at him in the rearview mirror, and he waved back. And then eventually I passed him. He had a Texas A&M sticker on the back of his car. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that's
I don't
Dwight.
think that's right.
It wasn't Nissan, which is in line with the Titans. But Dwight, I hope you're asleep at the beach.
615-737-1025. Our phone number. Kuharsky with us for the rest of the hour. We'll take your thoughts on the Titans, your questions for PK, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us for the next hour. We're taking your questions for PK on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. PK, we are just a few weeks away from training camp beginning. So we're getting close to football in our city. I do want to get your reaction to this because, first off, this shows you the time of year that we're in. You know, ESPN.com comes out with all these lists now. Like, it's just what people do, I guess, is lists. And I don't really pay much attention to those other than the position of strength that ESPN.com came out with earlier this week for the Tennessee Titans was at wide receiver. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I would probably go to defensive line where there's John Franklin Myers and Jeffrey Simmons there. But it did get me thinking, like, when is the last time that anybody looked at the Titans wide receiver room and strength was what came to mind? I mean, there was A.J. Brown and Corey Davis together, but we've talked about this, like the depth of this room, potentially, depending on, you know, what steps DK and Io Man are taking year two, are to the point where you feel as good about it as you have in a while. And, like, it feels like every year we talk about 2-3 guys that are receivers in camp that are going to push to make the team. And to me, 5 spots are spoken for. People are going to talk about, like, Bryce Oliver and Osborne, and they're going to try to throw Restrepo in there too. But it feels like there's basically 1 spot left at wide receiver right now. How do you feel about wide receiver, the depth of the room, and how the Titans are going to view that heading into camp?
Well, the last time I think we would have regarded the wide receiver room as strong would have been when they brought in Julio Jones.
Yep.
Right. Now that didn't pan out. And I don't remember the depth of the room, but I remember writing, you know, how a lot of people around the league that I talked to were like, that's a real pick your poison problem defensively between Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones. Who would the tight end have been then?
Would that have been Ferkser?
I think maybe Johnny Smith is still in the mix there, which is a pretty effective pass catching tight end. But I mean, he wasn't a premier weapon by any means. But that's the last time. The depth, we always convince ourselves, is better than it is at this time heading into the season. I did a mailbag at the end of last week, and I put my rankings on receiver because somebody was asking me about Kinsey. Now, I think Kinsey is 11th. I've got Carnell Tate, Wan'Dale Robinson, Calvin Ridley as the top 3 pretty much locked in.
Yep.
Now, Ridley could fade or get hurt. So DK and Io Manor, those 5 to me are locked in as the top 5.
Agreed.
And I see potential there for DK and maybe Ellick to, you know, go as high as 3. But those 5 are the top 5. And those 5 and 3, 4, 5 are candidates maybe for 3. After that, then you get to depth. I've got KJ Osborne at 6. He was used a lot in the spring, and they have talked a lot about wanting their depth. Really, they've not talked a lot about it, but they talked once in big fashion about it in an overriding theme about how, you know, with the draft depleted now, undrafted rookie free agents are even lower ranking than they used to be, and they would prefer these low ranking slots on their depth chart to be filled by guys who have some playing experience, right? KJ Osborne had a couple really good seasons for Minnesota.
Yep.
He was out of it last year. 6th for me. Bryce Oliver, 7th. He didn't do enough this spring, but he really is a great special teamer. But knee injury and maybe a little bit of mental issues with the knee injury last year, it's wide open for him to take it. I got Restrepo up to 8th now.
Yeah.
Super productive in the spring. You can't argue with it. But he's not going to be able to play with the first, the seconds, and the thirds through camp. So, you know, I'm confident he's going to make plays in practice. You know, where does he fit on your roster? He's not a good special teams player. He's not going to rank higher than sixth, and you need your sixth guy to play special teams. Tyron Montgomery flashed early, looks good, productive college player, but didn't do much. Hank Beatty started to do some things, and Mason Kinsey's 11th to me on a team that's going to keep 6 or 7. Is that a reasonably good talent pool? Well, I feel good about the 5.
I do. Yeah.
Right. And I feel good about a nice competition for 6.
Well, that's way better than it's been lately. And now some of that is also, I feel good about the 5 right now. How good's Tate in his rookie year? Is Ridley, number 1, is he healthy? Number 2, if he is he close to what he's been? You know, I feel good about Robinson from the standpoint of I think you know what Robinson is. But I think a lot of people in this are also assuming big steps forward, or at least significant steps forward from DK and Iomanner, but specifically DK. Like, I think people are excited about what he can be in year 2. And I am too, but if you don't get that, like if it's not significantly better, you still are. I mean, so much of this is going to come down to Tate and how good he is in year 1.
But we always do this. We talk about the 6th, 7th receiver. When the season starts, we never talk about those guys getting outside the top 3.
Well, we wind up talking about them because they get hurt, and we wind up talking about them being insufficient. So can this guy be more sufficient? Maybe,
right?
But you never know. But listen, there was a year, and I wish I had. This is where I fail on the on the
storage.
Yeah, on my memory storage as opposed to my computer storage. They had 2 guys who were really good in camp, right? One had played for the Colts. One was a return man.
Marcus Johnson and Chester Rogers.
There you go. What year was that?
That was actually the same year as Julio. That was 2021.
Yeah.
21.
And there's a big drop off after Julio and AJ Brown.
By the way, from that 21 team, only 2 players remain with the Titans. From the 21 team, only 2 players remain: Jeffrey Simmons and Amani Hooker. That's it.
Yeah. And that's becoming more and more commonplace. But it's a problem here. I mean, they didn't sign any first or second round picks generally to long-term contracts. But you look at that, Chester Rogers and Marcus Johnson. They were great in the preseason, and we thought problems were solved. I'm looking now at the Wikipedia entry. Marcus Johnson isn't even on it.
Right? He had 9 catches that year.
Yeah, he didn't even make it. And that wide receiving core was A.J. Brown, Dez Fitzpatrick, disaster. Julio Jones, Racey McMath, disaster. Chester Rogers, who did a little bit, and Nick Westbrook-Akine, who turned out to be a guy that actually developed and turned into something. The guy caught 9 touchdowns on 32 catches one year. But, that's the quintessential year. They got 2 guys in camp, and we're all fired up about them.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the combined production from them was basically close to 0.
I will say, it's funny Ian brings that up because Marcus Johnson
Great
did
job,
have
Ian.
9 catches that year. He had a 100-yard game. He had 5 catches for 100 yards against the Saints. Yeah.
And then things just fizzle.
It just to have 9 catches on the year, 5 of them for 100 coming in one game.
And look, I'm not saying it wasn't like that was our imagination during camp. And I try to stress this all the time. Like, we judge what's happening on a given day.
Same thing with Burks.
And they had given days stacked up. They had good camps. But it just goes to show you how a good camp can turn out to be not meaningful in the long run. But coming out of that camp, you thought, hey, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Nick Westbrook-Akine, who they liked, and Marcus Johnson and Chester Rogers, who had good camps. That's not bad.
What's your sense?
We could be in that situation again.
Well,
right now, you hope not.
Right.
It seems better pedigrees.
But this has been a problem. Do you remember?
It's a lifelong problem. Joe makes fun of me. I call it a DNA problem.
But do you remember Paul Williams?
Yes.
I mean, he was the great, like this.
Roydell Williams, Paul Williams, Joel Falani.
Yes.
Brandon Jones.
Yes.
Brandon Jones at least was.
He played.
Flashed a little.
Yeah.
He played. Him and VY had a connection.
That was their strategy. Floyd's strategy for a while was throw picks at the problem. And then and then when they spent value picks on the problem, Tyrone Calico gets bent over backwards, and then injuries ended. Don't know if he's going to be any good. Then they went through, hey, let's get ridiculous athletes like Dorial Green Beckham and Justin Hunter.
Yeah.
and they were terrible. Justin Hunter's out with the ankle injury, out, not practicing. And they're in the locker room fooling around, seeing if they could touch the ceiling tile in the locker room. And Justin Hunter's jumping and trying to touch the ceiling tile.
Yes.
That's the kind of, cerebral receivers that they had.
Is that why you got banned from the locker room?
That's the ship that
Right.
Wizenhunt was running around there.
Crazy
Good stuff.
man.
I don't
Just
remember
crazy with all
exactly
that.
the fallout of that. But I mean, that's when whatever the transition was right there, GM wise. And that was John Robinson coming in. And he was like, I don't want Dorial Green Beckhams. We're moving away from that. I got a good offensive lineman in exchange for that. And we're going to get guys who actually run routes, aren't just fast.
I told Chase this
and
one
athletic.
day. I'm at a Vanderbilt football game, and I'm sitting in the press box next to Rustin Webster. He asked me, who do you like on this Vanderbilt team? I'm like, you're asking me this question? This is 2014. I'm like, I don't know. We don't need to talk about this. And then I was like, how asinine is the GM asking me about this?
I'll say this in his defense. Rustin Webster is very awkward socially. And I think when he tried to make conversation with reporters, that's what he did.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't necessarily care what you thought. He was just trying to be human.
Good.
Just asking.
Oh, man.
Somebody says Lavelle Hawkins and Dennis Lavelle Hawkins. I remember Lavelle Hawkins, the preseason stud, man. Get out there in the preseason games. He'd look good.
We
hurdled somebody.
I went to a game as a fan. He was sitting next to me. I'm like, what
Lavelle
are you doing
Hawkins
here?
was?
He's like, I'm inactive this game. I'm like, why are you not down there? He's like, I'd rather sit in the stands. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
What's your sense?
You had some pretty good seats for that game.
That's pretty good. What's your sense for
That's
how,
what that story was about.
That's really
Joe
what's kind of
showing
humble
off.
brag. Yeah, look where I was sitting. What's your sense for how healthy Ridley is as camp's a few weeks out?
I thought that he looked for a guy, not that far removed from a broken leg. I would have put him ahead of schedule just based on how he was running. And that was basically like how he was opening up. But, he cut off his dreads, which makes a guy look faster. I don't know. I was encouraged by what I saw. I think it feels like he's got a lot to prove. But the guy's inconsistent as hell.
Yeah.
He's been a slow
Always
starter, been a slow starter. They don't have time for him to be a slow starter. If he's a slow starter and Chimdike is not a slow starter, I think right from the beginning that there's going to be pressure and maybe those snaps get split up somehow. I think he's got to come out guns blazing. And, I don't want to be having conversations with him. I don't want him to be in a position where he's having conversations with people about dropping balls in camp or not being on the same page. And I've said this numerous times with these option routes that I wrote about. I worry about him a little bit with that.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. More of your questions for PK coming up next. Take your thoughts on the Titans on our phone and text lines. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. Our football offseason coverage on 102.5 The Game, presented by Tennessee Brew Works and Parman Tractor and Equipment. Paul Kuharsky with us here on the show, taking your questions.
Yacht Rock lives.
Yacht Rock. Rexrode apparently impressed by your Yacht Rock.
Well, we were picking our top 5,
yeah,
and I said, "Let me go first," and then I stole like 3 right out. It was pretty good. I mean, we have very similar tastes.
Does he not like
Big Gulp too?
Does Rexrode not like Yacht Rock?
No, we were
He
both
does.
all into it. We had a blast with it. But like we went off the beat with Christopher Cross, and he was like, "Oh man, I was going to take that." And we had a lot of fun with
So, what's your favorite Yacht Rock song?
Ian, you're gonna have to help me. What did I like? What's the Christopher Cross?
Ride Like the Wind?
Yeah.
Ride Like the Wind.
Yeah,
That was
Michael
right,
McDonald.
That was right.
We're
up
in there. That one,
Yeah.
the one we just played, I think was on the list.
Yeah.
I forget exactly
It
who
was
you put on
good.
there,
But we both decided Steely Dan is not Yacht Rock. It's too highbrow and more sophisticated.
Did you see the documentary on HBO?
No, that's what got us talking. I still need
So
to watch.
They called the Steely Dan guy,
I know, yeah, who's a curmudgeon as it is.
and he basically says, "F off, never call me again." And that's on the documentary. And that's it. Yep.
I need to watch that.
It's great, man. It's really good.
My group of high level subscribers, the all 22, we've had some intensive intensive conversations about Yacht Rock, and they were happy to be included in the conversation last week. And the problem is none of us have a yacht.
That is a problem.
And we've been looking for a long time. I've got a couple spots open right now, but we're looking for a guy with a jet plane too, because we had a kind of a blowhard. This intensified the screening process. We had a blowhard who talked like he had a private jet.
Oh, yeah.
And we were thinking, like, oh man, we're
This is
just going to
great.
go to Wrigley one day and catch the Cubs, up and back or whatever. It turned out that he was full of it. So now when a new guy's coming in, I have very little turnover, but when a new guy comes in, I have one of the guys,
screening
chat
process.
with him to make
Yeah.
sure he's a good fit or whatever. And then inevitably when he comes in, the first round of questions are about his private jet.
Yeah.
I think that's how you've
you
made it in life when you got a private jet. I think that's how you.
I agree.
You're no more airport. God, you got
It's
it
good
made.
stuff.
Yeah. So do any of us know that guy?
I don't.
No, we
See?
don't. Do
So
we?
we're not only have we not made it in life,
We don't even know it.
we don't know someone who's made it.
Robbie, don't you know Kenny Chesney? He's got a jet, right? Can
That's
we
right.
borrow that jet?
And Taylor.
Taylor Swift. Yeah.
So I guess I do.
She's got a couple jets.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, I'll go a step lower. I've always, dreamed of being a member of a country club.
Yeah.
And I don't even know anybody who's a member of a country club.
I do know those.
Yeah.
I do know one guy, but
I can't make those dues. I can make the dues. I can't make the
Some
initial,
of the dudes,
the
are
initial
insane.
payment.
down
Yeah,
payment,
the
15
deposit.
you don't have 15 grand.
No,
laying around?
not laying
nuts.
around. Plus, I hate golf, so I'm not doing that. It's
I would do it
disrespectful.
for the golf, but I would also like the pool club.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
though there's a pool in my neighborhood.
There you go.
That's just a level of snob that I am. Also, I don't have enough friends, so like I feel like I'd make some friends at the club. Honey, I'm going to the club.
I'll be back.
I'm going to the
Back
club
later.
I'm going to the club to see Phil.
Just go crash West Haven's pool down there.
West Haven's far from me.
No, just take yourself a
I
pineapple
understand
down
the
there.
benefits of I understand the benefits of West Haven, but I don't understand.
Oh, there's lots of benefits down there.
I don't understand how you could be that popular. This is a big conflict for me. Tell me
A
about this.
pineapple?
You have
I have no idea what that means.
boy, that is just time. How could you be that popular and that far from a highway at the same time?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, how long does it take you to get to a highway from West Haven?
A long
Well,
time.
20 minutes?
They've added a road, the
road.
Manchester extension.
Yes, but that's still not a highway.
Right.
It's a road that gets you to a highway
It
in
makes-
20 minutes.
Yeah, I heard
It's a little quicker.
I heard you could
15?
just
It
swing right through there
10?
and get to the interstate.
It takes me 10 minutes to get to a highway, and that's far too long. Far too long. 12 minutes, maybe.
I'd like 3 minutes. I'm out.
I'd like to take Paul into a. If you've been to a Buc-ee's,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
He's a fan
Every
of it.
time
Yeah.
time we go on a road trip for a Simon baseball tournament, we hit a bucket.
He likes it.
I will say
good.
I did hit a bad shredded pork sandwich second to last time I went that lowered their rating somewhat.
Yeah, we gotta do better than
but
that.
they got
And
a.
I'm not buying Buc-ee's pajamas and stuff like that. That's weird.
Well, they have award-winning restrooms, so you should have been taking care
Well,
of
I've
that.
used the restroom, and I like a nice big drink, the kind that Joe doesn't get me.
That's right.
I like the fudge and the cookies, and generally the sandwiches.
Good.
Ed on the text line says, "Are we too concerned about the interior offensive line, considering that the bar that Cushenberry and Zeitler said is pretty low?"
I'll be not concerned with the Titans offensive line when the Titans offensive line plays like 4 good games in a row.
I
think that's
it's been a long time
general
since that's
policy.
happened.
Like for things that have been long-term concerns for the Titans, they have to prove that these issues are fixed and that their people can play effectively before I'm going to not be too concerned about it.
Well, and to answer that question, like, yeah, the bar with Cushenberry and Zeitler was low.
Zeitler might have been
Zeitler
better
got
than people
better
think.
than, I think Zeitler started a little slower and he got better as the year went on. I
But
would also say
Cushenberry
this.
was a failed contract.
I mean, the Titans were very bad last year on offense. Like I need the bar to start to be raised on the offensive line. I mean, we hadn't even got into really how important it is for J.C. Latham to be very, very good from the jump this year and what that's going to look like.
True. This is what they've done in terms of creating trepidation and danger, right? Bill Callahan came in, and unquestionably that was an excellent hire based on his resume. And he had such a bad year and 6 games that now they hire Carmen Brasillo, who again looks to be a fantastic hire and a different kind of fantastic hire than Bill Callahan. Younger, more of an up and comer, I think more of an innovator. And you say, man, that looks good. But Bill Callahan looked good, and that was a disaster. So I've got to leave a buffer here that Carmen Brasillo isn't what he appears to be. When they do bad stuff for so long, there's a caveat on everything.
I will be watching.
Put that on wax.
I will be watching Atlanta pretty closely to start this
that's
year
a
just to see what the
fascinating
offensive line looks like down there.
Yeah, and I've asked this question before, and I don't know that there's a universal answer, but will you be more pissed off about the Bill Callahan? I mean, I think we know the answer. You'd be more pissed off about Bill Callahan if he goes back to being the old Bill Callahan in Atlanta and he had a 17+6 game blip here than if it was the beginning of the end of Bill Callahan and he's not good anymore.
It would probably also make you ask, like, good God, how bad was Brian if he ruined his father while he was here? Like, how bad did it get down there?
That would really be something. Like Bill Callahan, Hall of Fame level assistant coach, except for the year and 6 games that he worked for his son.
That he was just totally below average. 615-737-1025. More with PK coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us here on the program. One, two. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. So, I feel like we've been talking about this for a year, and it hasn't happened yet. And my assumption is that it is going to happen here soon into camp, but maybe I'm wrong. How much, if you're looking at the quarterback part of this heading into camp, if you're Saleh, and more importantly, if you're Mike Borgonzi, like you want to get your second-year quarterback some reps in the preseason. Saleh has talked about like the starters, subject to change, are going to play. I think you know exactly what Mitch Trubisky is. I don't know that you need to see Mitch Trubisky playing for a half in preseason games. I think you know what he is. So with all that said, how much do you think Levis is going to play? If you're Mike Borgonzi, like, is there a certain amount that you want to see him play in order to potentially drive a deal that you can make? If you're Mike Borgonzi, do you want to see him play to try to make the decision with the standpoint of, all right, well, if he plays really well, that could do two things. That can either drive a deal where you can get something back for him, or maybe that reevaluates like how the Titans view him long-term in terms of keeping him around to be a backup. Like how do you think Borgonzi views the Levis part of this heading into camp?
Well, I think too many people think that this is a high priority. I think the number one priority is Dable.
Yep.
What do you need to get done here for our offense to be ready for opening day? How much do you want Cam out there within reason? How much do you need the receivers out there, and how much do you need them to be thrown to responsibly? So responsibly, effectively behind the top line. How many snaps do we want those interior linemen, chief candidates to get? All of that stuff. So the flow chart goes from there.
Yep.
Then, how well can Levis execute all of that? If they think Trubisky is significantly better than Levis at executing that, and they think they need a lot of time at executing that in live situations, then you've got to play Trubisky as much as you need to play Trubisky to get that stuff done. You cannot prioritize showcasing Levis over getting ready.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. I think a lot of fans think that, the preseason games are all about showcasing Levis so that they could get a trade. And people have again convinced themselves, we're going to get a 4th or a 5th round pick. When we were talking during the draft about, the potential for them to jump around or whatever.
Pick swap. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it depends largely on injuries around the league and all of that. I had a mailbag question like, would you rather have Levis under Sean McVay or Cam? Look, Levis under Sean McVay is a third stringer, also fighting for third string spot.
Well, he's also a third stringer fighting for a third string spot in a different
he's
situation.
Behind Stetson Bennett.
Well, he's behind Stetson Bennett, but like Ty Simpson is a
he's behind. Pick. Yeah, he's behind Ty Simpson.
Yeah,
he's fighting with Stetson Bennett
right
for third round. How could you want that over Cam Ward, who's about to go into his second season with an improved offensive coordinator and improved stuff all around him? It's too early for this giving up on Cam Ward stuff. And it's also, I don't understand this propensity to wash away Will Levis's sins. Look, circumstances sucked for Will Levis, but circumstances sucked for a lot of guys. I think Will Levis could dig out of this conceivably, not next year with somebody, but in the long run, I've said that. You could put him in the pool of guys who might become, not Sam Darnold, but
serviceable
Geno
players.
Smith or Garoppolo or whoever, right? Have a good second act. Maybe. But why people prefer that to let's see what the upside of Cam Ward is beyond me. And why people prefer it to Trubisky as a backup, I understand that. Like, I think the upside of an unknown is better than knowing exactly what you're going to get from a backup and having him be meh.
Yeah.
But they've decided what they're doing. That decision's been made. That's not in question. He's not competing for number 2.
No, there's no competition on that front heading into camp. I just, like, if you're Borgonzi, and let's say he goes out there in preseason and he does show well for himself, which, by the way, frankly, he should. I mean, he's going to be playing against second and third stringers.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play well in the preseason, to me, that's way more of a red flag on him than some of these other things that we've thrown out there. So he should go out there and play well. I just wonder how that affects, like, if you're Borgonzi thinking about your long-term quarterback room, not even Cam Ward stuff, but like your long-term backup quarterback. How long is Mitch Trubisky going to be here? I have no idea. Like, are you more willing to try to ship him out if he plays well? From the Borgonzi point, but I agree with you. You can't be making decisions like, oh, we got to figure out what Will Levis is long term in the organization in the preseason. That should be way down the list on the priority list.
And I mean, I guess I understand why people are so fascinated with a highly drafted quarterback not that far into his career. But this thing where everybody feels like he's burning a hole in his pocket. I mean, they've got 90 players on their roster till August 30th. It's not a massive rush. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the roster until August 30th.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What happens if we get 3 or 4 games in the next year and it becomes pretty clear that Amani Hooker has just taken a step back as a player? What does that do to the Titans defense? How do they overcome that? Do you think Winston is going to be in a spot by then where he's unquestionably a super reliable player for the Titans? I mean, we've talked about the idea of Hooker struggling last year. How much of that was him? How much of that is what was around him last year? And I don't know the answer. But what if we get 3-4 games in and it's clear it's like, oh, well, this guy's just not the same that he used to be?
I mean, the speed is the question. I think the processing is going to be there for him. A lot of people were goo gaga over Winston through the spring. I wasn't quite there. I mean, I think he's going to be good, but a lot of people were anointing him like the second best player on defense already and stuff. I think that's premature. They don't have depth at safety. They don't have depth in the secondary. Tony Adams has some skills, but he takes bad angles and he's a bad tackler historically. So how much they can improve him from there, and can they find another veteran safety, or do they like a Kendall Brooks or somebody like that, remains to be seen. But I can't see a scenario where Amani Hooker healthy isn't a key part of this defense. And if he slows down substantially, they're going to have to find ways to cover for it.
They can't have that. I mean, that's first off, my biggest concern with Hooker has always been health. Like, is he going to be able to stay healthy? So there's already that you're worried about with the entire secondary. Like, if there's a year for injury luck, if you could pick one place, I mean, you could always go quarterback with it, right? But if there's a year for injury luck where you could really identify one, secondary would be.
Yeah, I wrote about that last week. And historically, I mean, I'm sure this is the case in a lot of places. But when the Titans haven't had secondary depth and they've called on it, they've generally died. I mean, we know the names: Bleedy Ray Wilson, and Cody Sensabaugh and Deron Jenkins.
Yeah.
I mean, these names bring up nightmares for Titans fans, and they were on the field most of the time because somebody was hurt.
Did you ever get a chance to ask Brian Dable why he was infatuated with Cam Ward when he was with the Giants? Why he was willing to give up the farm for Cam Ward?
Yeah, he talked about it. I mean, I don't remember, Joe, exactly what he said, but I think he said a lot of the same things that the Titans said. Their intrigue about how he played in college, and his mentality. I think a lot of it was
right.
And the quick release. I mean, people love the quick release, and think there's a lot to be developed there. And I think this change of offense to these option routes where he can react more and process a little less.
Sure.
He thinks will benefit him greatly.
I just do not want any design running plays in the playbook for him because he's not the biggest guy. if he gets injured, they're done. I mean, I don't see Trubisky. I'm sorry, Mitch.
No, who
That's
does?
it. Just don't design running plays. If I see you running, my goal is to take your head off.
Well, I think they'll have some, but safe stuff. I don't know about sneaks, but I could see like little stuff that sets him free around the edge where hopefully he could get a first down and slide or get out of bounds and slide. And then some RPO stuff where, again, if he reads it right, there's space for him to get where he needs to get and he could get down.
Well, we had the conversation with Fisher 2 weeks ago about McNair and draw plays. He goes, the problem with Steve was Steve thought when a draw play, he was a running back.
Yeah.
And he would look for contact. We're like, get out of bounds.
I don't think Cam's looking for contact.
No, not at all. No, I mean, again, he's not the biggest guy in the world. So I'm not a fan of getting your quarterback out that way and getting a hit on you.
Cam knows he's not a runner.
Good.
I think that's clear in the way he played. I think they could do a little bit more with him that is safe, that is effectively going to get you a first down, but you're not looking for big plays out of him.
No, I think he is gifted at kind of sneaking out of trouble. He's like, deceptive with the way that he moves a little bit, and he gets out of the pocket, and he can be a problem to contain. I mean, we saw it. I mean, the first touchdown pass he threw was just ridiculous. He gets out of the pocket, He's drifting. He throws it back across his body. I do think, he's never going to be a guy that they use on. They're going to be calling 5 run plays for per game. It's going to be very selective when they do it. And I think every now and then in today's NFL, you got to be able to get yourself out of trouble and pick up a first down. All the quarterbacks can do that. I mean, Burrow does that. Mahomes does that to some degree. But I agree. You don't want him taking shots.
And he's not quick to take off.
No.
He was dying to keep a play alive, which can get him hurt sometimes too, Joe, when he's, zipping around and running out of time and somebody's making a run at him where he might be wise just to get a couple of yards and go. Get down,
so let me ask
you
this.
Bounds.
Who has to be his best friend on the field? I've heard all the answers. Who's got to be his best friend on the field?
I think the easy answer is Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, I think Wan'Dale Robinson's going to get a lot of targets, and I think Wan'Dale Robinson's very good at getting open underneath. I mean, you could say offensive line. He can't pick an offensive lineman. So if you're looking for an individual, I would say Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he's better and more equipped than the running backs as a group and can't pick one. Spears isn't going to be on the field all the time. Pollard.
See, I hear Pollard,
but not that.
For most people, I hear Pollard. He's got to be that guy. When he gets in trouble, Pollard's got to be the guy that helps him.
I'd take that, but I'd say Robinson.
Okay.
615-737-1025, our phone number. One more segment with PK coming up next. We'll take your thoughts for PK on our text line. Robby and Rexrode 1025, the game. Final segment of the day, Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us here on the program. I said it, we're just a few weeks out from training camp. You've talked about this. I mean, you've been around this team for 30 years now. What's training camp like for Paul Kuharsky nowadays? We look forward to it? Do we say
no? We don't.
It's very exciting, and then about 2 days into it, you're like, all right, let's get out of there.
We don't look forward to it, largely because everything gets blown way out of proportion. And I really, I make this pledge every year. I'm going to try to be better with it this year. You know, if I don't get video of the big play in the corner, that's great. You know, I'll retweet it from somebody. I got to look for off the beat stuff. I want to tell you what stuff means, not be a stenographer about what happens. And that's what you'll get if you come to my site. And I think I'm uniquely equipped in my 30th year to provide that for you. Training camp is nothing now. I mean, they'll practice 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row sometimes. There's 16 padded practices. I mean, it's not a lot.
Very watered down.
And, you know, that's what the players bargained for. That's what they want. That's what the league will give them. So I don't blame the players for winning what they can, but, you know, blame the league for letting them win those things, which in some ways don't get them sufficiently ready. But the football hasn't suffered that much at the beginning of the season.
Well,
now the Titans offensive line might suffer at the beginning of the season. And other elements of the Titans might suffer at the beginning of the season. And you really don't want a guy to twist his ankle or pull his hammy early.
No. I mean, I was going to ask you, like, do you think, based on watching around the league, has gone on over the last 10, 15 years where it's just training camp has become less and less, preseason has become less and less? Do you feel like that's had a substantial impact on the product early? Do people make too big of a deal of that? Like, how do you – because, sometimes it's just as simple as your team's bad, and it's bad in September, and it's bad in December, and it doesn't matter when you're playing football if you're bad.
I mean, I think the league's adjusted to it. It seems like to me. I mean, there was a period of time where it seemed like early season football wasn't up to the standard that it ultimately reached. But I think coaches have figured out how to get past that. And I don't think it's been as big a problem in recent years. So they figure it out. But I do think everybody would benefit from a little bit more, not time wise. Like, I think it's plenty long, but them being able to do a little bit more in the month that they have.
More actual playing of football.
Yeah. But then I look, you know, we've got the latest CTE results out from who is it? The Dallas guy.
Yep.
And you know, I'm sickened by
Nealand.
I'm sickened.
Nealand.
You know, you got that come out shortly after CJ gets his ALS diagnosis, and I'm putting out there pretty much with all of this stuff. Don't become numb to this stuff. We're becoming numb to this stuff. And I had, quite frankly, several sickening responses to that. Like, what do you want us to do? They know the risk they're taking. Why should I care? Somebody said. I said, you should care because the guy's a human and he's died as a result of brain damage inflicted by the sports. Yeah, he knows the risk, but the league, you know, uses him as a pawn and whatever, and they should work to make it safer, as safe as it can be. And the guy should get the best benefits possible and all of that. I mean, is that where we are? Who cares? I don't want us to be who cares. I want every time one comes out for us to all be reminded about the side effects of what we're watching and know that there's a price for it.
Trevor throwing it out there. Have you picked up a nice set of binoculars so you can see what's going on? It's a I
have game day binoculars that I guess I have to get in the habit of taking with me to practice. But listen, if there are 6 giant-bodied football players between me and what I'm looking at, I don't have binoculars that see through people. If anybody has those binoculars available for sale,
X-ray binoculars,
those and issues to my computer storage problems, which I've got no emails about, pkuharsky@gmail.com. So see-through binoculars and storage problem fixes.
There you go.
Come on. Apparently nobody's
Get it
listening.
fixed
today.
for him. Come
Apparently
on.
Joe has driven the audience away, and nobody's listening
Just
because I'm
get
not
it
getting
fixed.
any help.
Damn it,
Though
Rexrode.
somebody did put me in Bucky's pajamas.
I did see that.
And he looked comfortable in those things too.
I
as
did
well.
look pretty comfortable. Do any grown men, this is a good topic, wear pajamas?
It's a great.
Like, where do you
question.
guys sleep? I sleep in like sports shorts and what I call a freshman T-shirt. I've got freshman, JV, and varsity T-shirt.
There we go.
That's a good question. Yes, I'm same way. I won't sleep all the nude because I'm afraid my house catches on fire and I got to run out. And I'm like, no. So if it's on fire, I've got at least shorts and a shirt on.
That's probably good.
What a
Probably
great
a good call.
rationale.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm shorts and T-shirt, man.
I like to picture Ian as a pajama guy.
No pajamas. Also, just casual shorts and a throwaway T-shirt.
Who buys men's pajamas? Is this another thing like fruitcake that once a certain era passes
Gone by the
away,
wayside.
it
Great
just won't
point.
exist
It's a
anymore?
Great point.
Put it
I mean,
on
you
the
look at
list
the
with
old timey
fruitcake.
movies. There's men in pajamas all the time.
Every
Going to
time.
sleep, yeah.
Paul, you have the deciding vote.
Yeah, go ahead, hit me.
Rocky, love story or sports movie?
Both. That's why it's a great movie.
I'll take that
Does
answer.
that count?
Hell yeah, I'll take that answer because he's admitting that it's a love story.
Okay.
I like that.
It's less of a love story than a sports movie, but it's both.
See? I think I've got drifted to my side right there.
Yeah, just a little
I think I
bit.
drifted over there.
51-49 right there.
That's right. That's right.
I get some votes back on this side. We'll see what happens.
I've said Rocky 3 is the best one. But a lot of people mad at me about that. I'd say Rocky 4 is the best one.
I'm on Rocky 3.
I don't even remember 4.
Drago goes over to Russia, you know?
That's a pretty damn
It's a pretty good one.
That's pretty
Apollo
damn good in
dies.
the middle of the Cold
Spoiler
War.
alert.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, right?
If I could change and you could change, we all could change.
Can you believe Stallone's 80?
80.
Yeah,
Still whip
I
our
can believe
ass.
it. I watched Tulsa King. To be honest, I can't believe he's not 90.
Is that a good show?
I mean, for what it is, sure.
So that's a no.
For what it is, it's very good. Watch the whole season in a weekend, and watch how you start imitating how he sounds.
There you go.
I didn't meet him. Saw him back in 1984. He was in town for the worst movie ever called Rhinestone, and they
Okay.
premiered it at Opry House. I would always remember how short he was.
Yeah.
Was it? They're all short. Wasn't your girl Dolly in that movie as well?
That's right.
There you go.
According to you, how bad could it be? Don't block the box. Be sure to lock your locks. I got to figure out the storage issue today.
That's it for us today. Send PK an email with their solutions. Next man up with Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.